this little alfalfa strand of hair sticking up like this? What? I'm gonna have to give you some gel. Oh, I really want to know what exactly do I do to keep that little piece of breakage. I need a hairstylist to tell me. I'm gonna need a hairstylist to tell me. Hey, welcome back, this Joy. My bad. I was trying to pin a comment. Guys, if y'all want to cash out me too, let me know. I'm so weak. This little piece of hair, I really have no idea what makes this little piece in the front break off because I haven't been putting gel in my hair. It has to be something I did. Happy birthday, you 1,000 times now, huh? I'm 1,051 now. Y'all like to subscribe? I appreciate it. Y'all, I think I might turn up on the live stream tonight. I just said that, Destroy. That's funny that you said that. I literally just said that. I was like, I might turn up tonight on the stream. So no red nails. Y'all want to know something? There is other. I took a shower, so maybe that's why my makeup doesn't look exactly like how it looked earlier. But I mean it's still fine. But there's other like YouTubers that do similar stuff to me in a way, but they're not me. If that makes sense. Like just because I can deliver messages because I'm intuitive and I'm claircognizant and have clairsentience and whatever the other clairs are, and I have cars doesn't mean that I do the same thing as another person who do cars. But some people, they saw me up here with y'all and they could tell within the context of why I did what I did. But there's this one girl and I suspect that she be swimming in my energy so much to the point where she's trying to like be me and also compete with me. Is weird as hell. Like no matter what I do in my day-to-day life, it's almost as if she's like trying to measure herself up to me. I don't know why she's doing that to herself. And I already said something about her energy. I was like, just because I look like how I look, which by the way, thanks y'all. Hey Nicole. Um, she doesn't like the fact that I'm attractive. So now she sizes herself up to me and she's always trying to like compete with my energy. That's weird as hell. But it's like just because she does readings and I do messages, it doesn't mean we do the same exact thing. Like I do way more other stuff. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good one. Thanks, Emmanuel. I appreciate you. She's not the only one who does that though. Like I have other readers that have found my page, and some of them are inspired, but a lot of them have these like egos, I guess, to where they don't necessarily acknowledge my page, but they copy me. She thinks you not attractive. No, she doesn't like that I'm attractive. So y'all remember when I was up here with the pizza sauce and stuff like that? She started doing freaked out stuff on her page. Allegedly. Allegedly. All I know is that at one point in time, I feel like this was like 2 days ago or something, I had tapped on her live stream. Because every now and again, she'll have like different channel messages or whatever. And this was before I even did the readings on YouTube. So every now and again, I would watch her messages and stuff. But she had did a message that I tapped on actually by accident. She's a page that I kept on my thumb kept on subscribing to her, and I was like, every time I unsubscribed for her, it was nothing personal. I just didn't subscribe to her, and then I feel like that has happened like 4 or 5 times to the point where I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. I might as well subscribe to her. Who are they so we know? Each one, breach one be in her comments. That's the funniest thing about it. I just noticed that because the other day I was on her page and her name is like Phoenix Rising or something. Something like that. I don't actually don't think it's Phoenix Rising, but it's definitely Phoenix. And I had tapped on her live stream the other day. This has happened a few times. I promise you, I don't be up on her pages that much. Sometimes if she has a channel message. When I gave out memberships, I You what? You read my message? Jury, I woke up from a 3 hour nap. Look, Nicole, you've been asleep for as long as I've been away, probably. You got a damn near perfect ass face. Oh, thanks, Tay. But I had tapped on her live stream the other day, and she said that she was on live sucking D. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I be up here playing with you guys because girls be up here trying to insinuate I'm a hoe, and I'm doing stuff for male attention. But I'm not on this camera sucking D for like what? This ain't OF. You called me an immature, but that wasn't even me to judge her. The only reason why I even thought that way is because every now it's kind of like every time there was another time, y'all. I was in here. I was asleep, and I would never forget. I had woke up. I was napping. I woke up because in my dream, it's almost as if her spirit alerted me that she was doing something weird in my dream. Mind you, I'm still asleep, so I woke up, and when I opened up my phone, she's on live. Y'all, why did I hit on live and she was trying to channel my energy on her live stream to the point of her actually positioning herself as if she's asleep. I'm like, this hoe is weird. Like, dang, is you really like, dang, you really want to be in my energy that bad? And it's so weird too because it's like she low key is trying to find ways to like compete against me. Somebody said switch the channel. It's so crazy because she intentionally was trying to channel my energy on her live stream. Somebody said she corny for that. Yeah, she is weird. Like it's weird as hell. Because I was legit y'all taking a nap before I got on live stream to talk to y'all. So I'm in my dream and I see her talking to me in my dream. And even in my dream, I'm talking to the energy like, you is not me. So what is you? Why is you in here? Like, why are you trying to talk to me like you me? Spirit has an interesting way of putting things together because as soon as I open up my eyes, I see her on live. Now I normally don't watch her on live, especially around like typically she do her messages in the morning, and that's when she do her spiritual reads. That's the only times I have ever really caught most of her videos. But whenever she do like late night type of videos, I personally just don't for whatever reason tune in. And so that was the one time I tune in and I see her channeling my energy like that, like intentionally. And then she was talking to y'all. She was talking to her audience as if like, yeah, I know that I'm a Jesus. I'm from Jesus lineage and all this weird shit. She just does weird stuff. Like she watches. Somebody said, "Jewel, you got a fan." Yeah, but it's so weird because in her mind, I think she thinks that she's competing against me by trying to be me too. Like, ho, sit down. You could be like she had the potential to just be cool. Now I see why that nigga be beating her. Like sometimes just sit the fuck down, be cool. I was up here telling y'all about times that my life was in danger. She's spamming at her on her she's spamming on her feed different times niggas was abusing her. Girl, do you think that does she think that we're doing trauma for trauma? Like what type of competition she think this is? That shit is weird as hell. Y'all should go over to her channel if y'all ever on her channel. Now let me stop. Let me not direct y'all. But I hope that she see this video and she cut that weird shit out because I'm here to at least let her know that shit is weird as hell. Like there's nothing about me that looks at her and thinks that we're competing. So the fact that she thinks that she's competing with me by trying to swim in my energy and be me as well is delusional. Somebody said trauma for trauma is crazy. Exactly. I'm up here, mind you, everything I'm talking about on my channel is for purpose. It's purposeful. Every single thing I do. When she watches my channel, she gets on her channel and she thinks, how I'm gonna outdo this bitch. So she was up there talking about times that she almost lost her life. Well, ho, I'm gonna go trauma for trauma. This nigga was beating my ass. Look at the pictures, y'all. He was beating my. That's not the point of why I'm talking about what I'm talking about, though. Like, I'm not up here trying to go against anybody on my YouTube. I'm up here on my YouTube to talk to people who resonate me for whatever reason. Ho, why is you keep tuning into my page thinking that you need and thinking that you're about to compete against me? What the fuck is the competition? Because once we at least establish what the competition is, then maybe we can go back and forth. But until then, somebody say, can you explain how someone can steal your energy? Until then, ho, sit the fuck down. You look stupid. You look like a goofy. Like what? So do you think that like what? Did she think that she was just about to sit here and just study everything I do and try to mirror it as if we going hit like as if we going toe to toe? Was I supposed to get tapped on my shoulder about this? Hey, excuse me, you know that there's a random girl that's trying to compete you for your energy. Like, what? Girl, sit down. You look stupid. I see why that nigga was beating on you. Sometimes you need to sit the fuck down. And I don't even condone abuse. You just doing all kind of stupid shit. You just doing silly shit. Just sit the fuck down. That's that type of shit that do get a bitch punched in her face. Like, ho, is you good? Like, dang. Every single day, just swimming in my energy, just trying. Like, what the fuck? I understand being a fan, but damn, bitch, sit the fuck down. I don't even gotta be a nigga to punch somebody like that in the face. And I try not to be violent. I thought the girl was cool, honestly, until she started doing this parade. Like, bitch, sit the fuck down. Jewel, the girl that's copying you probably has the same birthday as you. She's a Pisces. She's a Pisces. You look hella pretty though. Thanks. I don't know what that person said before that for them to say that. I could never copy someone like that. It's just so crazy because it's like, what exactly is the end goal? She's never going to outrank me, outpass me, surpass me, none of that. She's never going to do that. So what's the end goal? If she just wants to tussle, why is she being all passive aggressive? Like, just come forward and say you don't fuck with me then. So what's the end goal is what I want to know. And if she was ever delusional to think that every time I said I slandered Pisces, I was talking about her ass, why the fuck would I be talking about her if I was slandering Pisces? Out of all people. I have two different exes that are Pisces and they were terrible. Why the fuck would I sit there and talk about a random girl on YouTube that I have watched in the morning time for channel messages? Why the freak would I be talking about her? Like, I don't get people like that. She needs to sit her ass the fuck down. Like, she been doing this for a few weeks now, and I've been ignoring it. I've been ignoring it because I was just like, maybe she'll get a clue. I've been ignoring it because I was like, maybe she's gonna get the message. Maybe she's gonna get a clue. But no, it's all this passive aggressive stuff. Like, girl, if you don't like me and you want to tussle, let me know. Just be straight up. Just come in here straight up. Be like, yo, I don't fuck with you. I don't like you because you everything that I'm trying to be. That's why I keep on trying to swim in your energy and try to be you and try to compete with you against you. Like, girl, sit the fuck down. It's really not that serious. Ain't nobody. I promise you. I can put my hand on my Bible. I'm not freaking worried about her and what she's doing to her channel. I be up here telling y'all about these people in the industry that be doing all this whatever stuff to me. Why the hell do I care about a tarot reader on YouTube doing something? Like, what? Who did she think she was? She needed to sit the fuck down. The bitch sucking dick on live, apparently, allegedly, out her own mouth. Because I was up here doing all that funny stuff with y'all. So am I influencing the girls to suck D on freaking live, even though that's not what I'm doing? There's never anybody else in these videos with me. It's just me. So, like, what? I low-key be honorary member. You're beautiful. Thanks, y'all. I'm just saying. So me doing all this weird stuff with the bottle got just sucking dick on live. And then being proud about it. I was sucking dick on live, you guys. I thought it was a dream. Is she autistic? Maybe she's autistic, y'all. Don't have me sitting there. This is sparkling water. Don't have me sitting here cussing out a girl and she's actually autistic. But she was like, I clicked on her live randomly. I think it was yesterday. And I was thinking about going on live, but I didn't. And she was like, up here, she was like, you guys, I was sucking dick on live. I thought it was a dream. Girl, why is you sucking dick on live? Is she gonna get on live being mad? Because I can't. Y'all always worried about what the fuck I do. She probably gonna crash out. And it's so crazy because all I'm really saying is, what, ho, is you cool? Like, why the freak is you on my page? Is autism bad, la la? Not necessarily. I just am trying to figure out, why is she so worried about me and what I'm doing on my page? Why does she think that we about to tussle every time I say anything on my page to my followers, my audience that's here for me only, not her? Why does she care about what I do over here? And is she on her page trying to tussle as if we about to do this? Girl, that's not what we want to do. Sit the fuck down. Oh my gosh. What's up with these hoes? I low-key want to pour the rest of this Sprite in here. This been sitting here since this morning. Or at least. Woo! Woo! I felt that. I'm sorry. I'm going to need to pour this cherry in here. Loving the outfit. Thanks. Oh, okay. I'm autistic. So I was like, wait, is there either way? There's nothing wrong with people who are autistic. I would give somebody more grace to know that they do have autism. How I was blessed, because sometimes people who are autistic, they can't really fully, like, sometimes they can't process social cues and norms. So they're doing something, and to them, it has a whole different reason and connotation than somebody who's not autistic. Like, you know how sometimes some autistic people, they just have a straight face when you're talking to them, and they can speak monotone. They're like, yeah, sure, yeah. If you're not careful to know that they are autistic in some way, you could potentially take offense to the way that they're responding socially. So yeah, I'm not saying autistic necessarily in a bad way. I'm saying in a way of, if I need to give grace to this weird hoe, then I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, I don't walk around try to beef with people. But whenever I see the weird behavior, I be wondering, she not the only one. There's a whole nother girl up here. I haven't seen her in a while. But she be doing weird stuff too. Because I actually have big girls, which this bra right now makes it look a little bit more minimized. Because I have big girls, she started showing up on live stream with no freaking bra on. Like, I don't think the girls understand. I'm not actually trying to be sexual. I just am, I just have sex appeal, which literally has almost nothing to do with anything but my energy, period. So if the girls think I'm trying to attract people by being sexually appealing, I'm just appealing. Like, you know how some people mistake being attractive with being naked, because they're gonna get compliments if they're naked. So they think, oh, if I'm naked, I'll get compliments and attention. Sometimes that's not always the case. Like, I'm not always in that type of energy. Threatened by your beauty, I agree, but it's like, dang, that don't have nothing to do with me. Like, this girl trying to go trauma for trauma because I mentioned different things that has happened to me in life. Ho, who is you though? Like, could you imagine you minding your business, people coming to see you about something, and then somebody else on their page like, well, oh yeah, well, I went through this trauma abuse. Nobody's talking to you, sweetheart, though. That's the thing. We're hearing and listening to this person and what they're saying. Nobody asks. Respectfully. And then, too, what's the point? Okay, so now what? You going trauma for trauma? Is that what you're trying to do with a random stranger? You need to heal. A lot of these people need to heal. And that's a big difference between me and them. The fact that they never take the time to heal and they're doing cards, cool. But you're not about to sit here and try to attack me, trying to come for me, target my energy, channel my energy in your videos. There's times, y'all, there's days where I have thought to get up here and I didn't get up here, whether it's her or this other girl that I've seen. Just as an example, they'll get on at the same time because it's almost as if they monitoring my energy. There's a third reader that I'm thinking about right now, and she likes the free spirited nature of me, so she be doing weird stuff. Like, y'all know when I be up here and I be lifting up my leg and stuff like that, whoop, just making sure I don't show nothing. She be doing stuff like that, all kind of weird stuff, and it's like they be watching me, but they be having an ego. And the reason why you know they have an ego is because they never want to say anything, which is fine. They don't have to say anything. I be watching some people and I like the whole idea of me just watching, which is fine. But the way that some of these people go about it is quite weird. There's this other reader, a fourth person I could think of. Because I be posting to different people. I have randomly posted different people thanking them for donating to the channel. Now that's all I have seen since on her, like, whenever on my timeline, that's all I see from her now is when she posts different people sending stuff to her. I don't know what's up with these people. Of course, at the end of the day, they're people, right? But I'm not competing with anybody else up here. And I promise you, if y'all have already solidified y'all audience, look, there's a secret. If y'all have already solidified y'all audience, a new bitch on the block is not going to take your audience. I promise you they not. Most people who watch one tarot reader, I promise you they watch at least a second one. At least a second one. And they might favor whichever one out of at least the two that they go to the most because they resonate the most. So here's a secret to the other readers up here who think that we're going back and forth. Most people are going to watch you if they want, and then me too if they like me. But my returning subscribers, I promise you they don't give a fuck about what you do over there and how you think you compete with me. Respectfully though. You have big girls. Is that equivalent to big balls for males? At this point, I'm starting to think so. How much is everyone willing to do? I'm keen, match for match. The next person who sent a super chat, apparently Emmanuel was going to match it, y'all. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see, y'all. I am flat as F, Nicole, but I can still relate. It's so sad that people are like that. Look, Lala, if you flat now and you're young, once you start growing and developing, because I promise you, I started to get into the most disagreements and random beefs with girls. Girls started calling me a straight up HOE. And I was so innocent. Like, I was so innocent, and girls start calling me a HOE because I had a Coke body shape. And once I developed the Coke body shape in high school, that's when all the girls in there randomly start calling me a HOE because they started to notice when other niggas was noticing me and commenting me. Now I'm an HOE. I promise you I was innocent, like not doing anything. So yeah, being attractive as a woman, I promise you, it makes all the insecure women, which I thought that behavior is going to ease up on high school, because I'm talking about high school. I thought that behavior eased up in high school. Now it'd be grown women on these YouTube streets doing the same ridiculous behavior. But it'd be other readers. I'm not competing with not a soul up here. I promise you. I literally just picked up these cards like a month or two ago. Realistically, doing this up here. I started off with my own written oracle cards. And just like many other readers who are on YouTube right now, I'm pretty sure they were watching another reader at some point before they started their own page. So we're not about to sit here and act like y'all are just the most special snowflakes and y'all just magically don't understand. Like what? These people are, they weird, Your Honor. They weird. This is the rest of this 18. I'm probably going to finish this whole bottle. And then I put some Dr. Pepper cherry in there. There was another reader. Look, I'm thinking about all of them. There was two other readers that I'm thinking about. There was a season when I was up here and I kept on drinking Dr. Pepper and coconut water. I stopped watching this girl's readings as soon as I saw the weird behavior. She started putting in her videos, by the way, you guys, my favorite drink in the world is Dr. Pepper and coconut water. What the fuck is wrong with these people? I'm starting to think the girls that read tarot have lost their minds. Like how other people be talking about it. Like, and then there was another girl up here and she was in her comments, yes, girl. She was in their comments, yes, girl. Look, LMAO said, someone mentioned me in the chat, LOL, happy birthday. Aw, thanks, LMAO. Emmanuel, look, you just said you said match that. Look, Emmanuel, I'm sorry, LMAO, I'm going to have to screenshot yours. I'm going to have to screenshot yours. Let's see if Emmanuel does it. Somebody said, where your ass at, Emmanuel? Thanks for the birthday super chat, y'all. But yeah, it's just so weird. I promise you, being a woman is kind of complex. If y'all have daughters and if y'all don't have them yet, just understand that if you make a cute girl, just teach her the ropes. I promise you. Jewel, you probably didn't see it, but I donated 1 mil. Thanks, Destroyer. Yes, the donation Avengers. He said, got it. Promise Winter Blocko the woman to me. What does that mean? I text you something, Jewel. Let me look and see it, Nicole. But yeah, some of these women, I promise you, I be wanting better for them. Because the whole time it's like I could potentially watch their page and be cool until they do that funny weird stuff. Then it's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna ease up watching your content because this is getting weird. Nobody is trying to tussle with these people. I don't even think there's a way that you can even come in peace. I feel like they just so insecure. And it's so crazy. It's like y'all read tarot yourselves. Like, why not heal? Jury, I have big girls too, and some older guys said I have a nice body in a weird way. I went to my mom and told her she went to security and he got banned from the mall. It happened at the mall when I was like 8. Oh my gosh, Nicole, I'm so happy that you're protected. And the other thing you told me is interesting. I'm not going to read that one out loud though, Nicole. But yeah, it's just interesting. Like when you start developing as a young woman, Emmanuel did match it, y'all. He said, "Happy birthday, Destroyer. Where's yours?" Thanks, Emmanuel, for the super chat. Y'all are so Y'all are so cool. Y'all are the best. Super chat. I'm sorry, not super chat, but my live streams. Y'all be my friends and y'all like my social life at this point. Somebody said show the biggies. Who else gonna join? Y'all, if a third person matches tonight, I promise you, I'm just gonna be blown away. I'm just gonna be like, there's no way this happened. I promise you, I'm gonna be in so much disbelief. I'm like, there's no way somebody did that. I'm sorry that you went through that, Nicole. Somebody said, Noel, you next. Explain how someone can swim in your energy. Oh, so earlier when I said that reader was swimming in my energy, she's not the only one who does this. But basically, it's when somebody tries to tap into you, your world, your reality, what's going on with you. They do different things. People do different things. People have different practices. People have different ways of doing this. And they basically do it to get information on you, what you're doing sometimes, your day, what's next for you. Just they just spy on your energy. And then when a girl is jealous of you or a person's envious of you or something, then they try to show up like you because what they're trying to do essentially is to show you. They're trying to prove to you basically, which nobody is telling these people to do this. But because they're insecure and they feel inferior, they're trying to prove to you that they are on your level and then also better than you. It's so weird. It's almost as if your energy, just all your energy makes them feel inferior, and so they're trying to do what you're doing to them naturally without your awareness back to you. So let's say a girl is like envious and jealous, and she's hateful, and she's still insecure, broken, whatever, and she's been beaten on by a nigga all her life, and she hasn't went through that trauma or whatever. Just that one person as an example. And this is not to make light of abuse. I've been in abusive situations that I wouldn't be proud to even speak on because that's not even for anybody else to know about. But let's say a girl felt like, you know what I'm saying, she will watch who you are and then she would try to look. Lala said, imaginative super chat. Happy birthday, Jewel. Look, I don't know how many millions and billions and trillions that five is, Lala, but thank you. But what they do is they watch who you are, and because you made them feel insecure and inferior, they try to perpetuate that onto you unprovoked. Nobody's making these people do this. And then not only are they doing that, they're trying to prove to you that they think they're better than you. And don't let you catch wind of that behavior, and then it makes you be like, oh, that person's weird. And then you start having your own opinions by that weird behavior. Because let's be honest, if somebody do weird, somebody say you have nice fingers. Whenever I used to go to the nail salon, I would always have a random person tell me, like, you should be a hand model. And I was like, really? Y'all, this throws me off. Every time somebody compliments me on my hands, it throws me off because for the longest time, I never thought much of my hands. But thank you so much for that. But what they do is, y'all, because they feel inferior to you, it's like nobody is telling them to do this. But then they try to find ways to, like, shit on you. And it's like, nobody asks, nobody cares. Like, I'm not hopping on my live to try to prove that I'm better than a random reader that if she really read my energy correctly, if she ever did, she would see that I don't give a fuck about doing that, especially with her. I have bigger fish to fry, respectfully. Those hands will look good wrapped around. I have wonderful fingers. Look, so far, LMAO, shout out to you. Emmanuel, shout out to both of you guys. Look, if a third person ever came out the shadows and did it, oh my gosh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Could y'all imagine? But yeah. Y'all, are we hiding people out or are we just timing them out? Because sometimes when y'all be hiding people, it causes people to never come back. So let's time people out tonight. Your hands are pretty. You can make nigga just by giving street directions. I'm just saying, you see how y'all just said that? Some of these other readers that I've been mentioning, they be seeing these comments and then they be feeling like, oh, I'ma just be super sexual to get that same result. It's like, no, just be yourself. Sometimes some people don't want all the extras. They just like somebody for being themselves. I clicked the wrong button. What happened? Oh, it's okay. Tons of timeout for me. It's okay, destroy. But yeah, so I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's craziness, but I do just appreciate the love when it's given because to be real with you guys, like I don't be up here trying to compete with a soul. Like I hope that they realize that I'm not. I'm if I'm competing with anybody, it's with my own goals and reality and whatever I'm doing next. is wherever the Most High God Himself is leading me. These people be threatened on the fact that I know who I am, I have a mission, and I have impact and influence. Okay, fight with the Most High God. That has nothing to do with me. Why don't they figure out more about themselves, what they can do in life? But instead, they rather target somebody else who's doing something. How hateful. Somebody said, read the Bible and pray. How is your day going? It's going really beautiful, especially since the start of the live. Y'all see the 2 super chats that's still available? They're matching. Look, LMAO says match it. Or no. Emmanuel says that he was going to match a super chat. LMAO sent that, and then Emmanuel sent the other 100. So I appreciate them. You was sucking your fingers the last time I came across you stopped the cap. What do you mean? I never capped about that. I'm talking about something totally different. Happy birthday. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate it. I hope all is well with you guys. I really am happy that I was able to spend my birthday with you guys, to be real with you. So maybe everything worked out the way it was supposed to. Cause could y'all imagine if I was at the bar right now? I would be at the bar probably fucked up, probably talking to somebody's random drunk grandpa. What's my favorite dinosaur? That's funny that you said dinosaur. I probably would have been talking to somebody's drunk grandpa at the bar. Not for any reason other than he would have been entertaining. He would have been in there dancing or something and kept coming over to me while I'm on live. And I'd be like, whose grandpa is this? Not because of anything else but that. Destroyer, please leave me alone. I get it was bad, but what's your favorite dinosaur? A T-Rex? Do you remember me? You were mad a few lives ago. I trolled you about your pretty nose and you got angry at me. Yeah, you didn't call it pretty back then, but I do remember you. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Martinez. I'm happy to be here. Look, I'm happy that y'all are here with me. To be real with you, like y'all are making my birthday night that much lit. I promise you, the month of May belongs to me. Even when we creep into Gemini season, I'm gonna give it to Geminis. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give it to Geminis, but it's the month of May is still mine. I was gonna ask, did you go out for your birthday? I actually didn't, but there's still tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. You know what I'm saying by that. And the next day, and the next day. Dang, you find yourself. Thanks, y'all. But yeah, so it's still some time. You guys, guess what happened? Never mind, actually. Let me sip some more of my drink. You guys, I think I'm gonna put this candle on. I'm scared I'm gonna get hot though. This is more of the Dr. Pepper. It's still kind of strong because most of this was water, right? Sparkling water. And then the rest of it was like liquor, and then like a little bit of the rest was like the Dr. Pepper. Relationship advice? What type of advice? What's the question? What's the question? We can start on some relationship advice. I don't feel the need to light this candle, but it smelled like a birthday cake when I blew it out earlier. You need to marry me. I'm already... This smelled like a birthday cake. You can't see some of my sprinkles because it's in the middle. Where your water bottle at? Like, when you said water bottle, you mean this? Am I married, by the way, or are you taken? I'm so weak. I'm a Gemini, and I have a champagne Toyota Camry, and I'm glad you are giving it up because you never know how fast someone is. What is you talking about? Being a side piece? Oh, you went J Poppy, you a side piece, and you want advice on being a side piece? Like, advice in what way? Advice in what way though? Like, I'm curious. And why do you think I'm the one to answer this? Are you trying to be funny any type of way by any chance? I'm trying to make you feel like that water bottle. You're a Gemini too? Look, Gemini season, I hope y'all have fun for y'all season. Until then, Taurus. Ooh, y'all, I just spilled. Until then, y'all, Taurus, it's our season. Y'all, it's so funny because I just watched this bedding. And I was thinking, I was like, I should watch this pillowcase. So this is like perfect. This is perfect. This is just giving me confirmation. Like, earlier I was looking at it, I was like, Spirit, I should watch this pillow. And he was like, yeah, you should. But I hesitated. Now I have an actual reason. Yeah, side piece need love too. Jury, nice pajamas. Yo, he manifested that. Who manifested it, y'all? I feel like one of them tarot girls manifested it. It's not on my pajamas, is it? Is it on my pajamas, y'all? I don't think it's on my pajamas, is it, y'all? Is it on my pajamas, y'all? I don't think it is. He said yes. I don't see it on my pajamas. Where is it? Somebody said no. So yeah, we're just gonna do this for a second. Jeremiah laughing. Somebody said yes. It didn't get on me. Somebody said it's on the back. Y'all, I don't think it's on the back. Hold on. Look, I might as well do this. Let me look. I'm so happy I got napkins on standby. Let me make sure it's not on my pajamas. This is me not trying to be cute or fast, y'all. Is it on my pajamas for real? I can't feel anything. I just used the showers a little. I'm sorry, this out the showers a little damp. Forgiveness comes with the roosters being. I'm cross-eyed now. I'm not even trying to be funny. I feel like one of the tarot girls I was talking about just made that spill. Look, girl. Girl, if you trying to tussle with me spiritually, let me know. I'll meek you up. Girl, we can go spirit for spirit with your weird ass. Look, and that's why it didn't get on me, and that's why it didn't get on me. Somebody said yes. She doesn't have crusty feet. Yeah. Wait, y'all can see my feet? Jury, no. Bad girl, no twerking on live, no PDA. Nice outfit. I just noticed now. Thanks, Emmanuel. Stephen G laughing. Look, I talked about them tarot girls. They trying to get me, y'all. They evil eye me. Somebody said spirit for spirit. We can go spirit for spirit. Look, they gonna be having their ancestors. That's okay. We can go spirit for spirit if y'all want to tussle. You look so effing good. You know you fine. Thanks, y'all. Somebody said do it again. What? Let me catch up on the chat. Jules, some crazy stuff happened while you were gone. What happened? Spilled a drink for the dead. She put a blanket over the spill. I definitely got a freaking look. I'ma fix this. If a rich prince came your way and he said he wants you to be his second wife for 10 million, would you do it? I'm not gonna lie. I might think, legit though. I might just think, because that's not something I've ever thought about. So I think. So I might actually think, but some of that seems like, what's the catch? Like, I'm gonna ask Spirit, what's the catch? Spirit, what's the catch? Do I need money that bad? Like, am I trying to be saved that bad, Spirit? Because there has to be another way. Spirit, am I going to be able to make this 10 million independently without this man? What's the catch? Nothing in life comes that easy. There's always some type of payout. Like, could you imagine you trying to get yourself out of a financial bind, so you hit your wagon to somebody and they ruin your life worse? Like, you're guaranteed to be unhappy. They ruin your life. Like, you might as well fix. Like, there's either two kinds of work. You either work and fix yourself and heal yourself and go through that, or you just go through another toxic karmic cycle that ends up having you worse off. And then you're constantly watching your actual happiness in the horizon. Like, what? I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about that because of something else. Could you imagine if, as a man, you didn't get yourself right for your man, for your woman, and then you financially needed to marry somebody to help save you, and you do it to somebody who you know for a fact is a karmic, and then you watch your actual happiness in the distance live their life, and what if they get married? Like, that's something that Spirit could do as a, just to be funny. Like, dang, I'm gonna make sure they get married then, and they actually be happy to where you can't disturb it. Oh, that would be sad. That would be such a sad thing. Me and Portia was beefing on this girl live, and I'm in the same live. Me, Padre, and Upper were roasting this fat dude, and the 6 people in the chat were roasting us. You was roasting Portia? That's crazy. What you say to her? I lost my mind not thinking because your beauty is... How was my birthday? It was cool, y'all. How many jumping jacks? Make sure you guys double tap the live stream. Jumping jacks, y'all. If I do jumping jacks right now, it will freaking make this drink spill again. Let me drink some more of this drink. Why when I read Wake Me Up, I was thinking, wake me up inside. Let me pour some more of this in here, because I think that's what I started to do. Save me. Why am I thinking about white people music? Did I get the pizza, y'all? I think I might have some pizza downstairs. I might get the munchies. I said Portia look like a possum. She do. Somebody says, is that your real bed or your cat's bed? This is my cat's bed, y'all, and it's my real bed at the same time. I sleep with my cat by my side. No, I'm playing. I'm playing, y'all. I'm gonna have to wash this bedding, this pillow part. Where you going, Lala? Somebody said sippy sip. Sippy sip, sippy sip. You might as well play some music. What's safe? I said Portia looks like she showers with baking soda. What Portia say? I feel like Portia don't give me that she got good. Portia don't have good comebacks, y'all. What was the last movie you watched? What was the last movie I watched? Hmm. The last movie I watched was, it had Italian people. Hold on. I can show you in a second. Give me a second. Even though I don't F with Padre, even though I don't F with Padre, The Sopranos, he posted the last movie I watched, but this was it. And I watched it around April 15th, ironically. Ironically, I watched it around April 15th when this was posted. This was the last movie I watched. I'm sorry, I was doom strolling and I had to stop to say you're absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Aquib Mohammed. Jewelry, I made a new friend at school, but she's an 8th grader and I'm in 7th. But something about us just clicked. Something like felt different about her than my other friends. She felt real. Hey, I hope, look, best of luck to you, Nicole, because them other friends, I don't like your other friends, Nicole, that you're not friends with. She just said, she said, I got a weird picture of you. She don't got no weird picture of you destroyed. She weird. Portia don't know how to roast. I been told you. I said Portia don't know how to roast. Post is a projection to nothing exactly. You got ketchup on your upper lip. What the? I was just watching that too. I'm on the wire now. Yeah, I was just watching that. I was watching it on April 15th when he posted this, or at least the night. Wait. Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, I was. So yeah, that was the last movie I watched. You so fucking fine, thanks. Yo, Jewel, watch Sinners is a good movie. I'm gonna watch it. Everybody keeps telling me to watch it, watch it, watch it. I have no idea what's it about. Is it scary, y'all? I don't really watch scary movies though. I'll be honest. Y'all, I'm getting the munchies by drinking this. It's giving me the drunk cheese. I'm getting the drunk cheese. It's so crazy because whenever I'm a 420 girl, as a 420 girl, I felt like I didn't get as much munchies as when I drink. But then again, I do drink more than I 420, so maybe that's why. Jewel, it has a stain. It has Satan in it. I don't care if it got Satan in it. I be seeing him every other day when he be trying to come to me. Bootleg Porsche, not come to me, but attack me through people. It's a scary movie. It has Satan in it. Y'all, I had this crazy tripped out experience when it came to Satan. I had a crazy psychedelic experience when it came to Satan. Her pajamas have satin in it, but Michael B. Jordan's in it. Interesting. When you're happy, I eat. That the movie Sinners is funny. You said I ain't scared of no freaking Satan, y'all. He be trying to. He better be scared of me. My freaking hair is sweating out at the freaking roots. Tell us a story about your Satan story with psychedelics. Long story short, y'all. Long story short. Long story short, I had a dream about Satan while I was on psychedelics. I'm sorry, I didn't have a dream. I had an experience while I was on psychedelics. Drew, you did drugs. This was years ago, and I did it with the same. Y'all wasn't up here when I had a phone call with my friend. He was the reason why I even tried it. He told me that I should do it because I'll have an ego death. I didn't even know what the freaking ego death was. This was like years and years ago, mind you. He said, yeah, you should do it with me. You have an ego death. I said, what's an ego death? Mind you, I'm spiritual, he's spiritual. I feel like our moons are both water sign moons, and that's why we connect. However, he's an Aquarius. I don't know what my freaking obsession is with Aquarius, other than it might reflect the fact that I might be emotionally unavailable. I don't know what my fixation on Aquarius men is, but I just might be emotionally unavailable. I don't know. But his water moon makes us have this psychic connection, and we did psychedelics together. And I think it made us have, like, he calls it a soul tie. I think that it's like some type of psychic, telepathic connection. Because there's times where I'll think of him and he'll hit me up. And it's a little bit different than other people. Long story short, somebody said devil gonna suck his own dick. Long story short, he was the one telling me that I was gonna have an ego death. I didn't, at the time that he said this, I did not know what a freaking ego death was. I just found out how to meditate, mind you, because a different Aquarius from a different time frame that looked like ODB that I talked about on the last live or whatever. He taught me how to meditate. Low key, it took me forever to figure it out. He was like, just don't think. How the freak am I supposed to not think? Leon, drink a glass of water. What he say? Your rising is Capricorn? Interesting. What's your moon? I'm a goat too. So look, I know this is a long drawn out story, but I hope y'all paying attention. So Libra and rising Scorpio moon. Interesting. Any water sign moons in the building? Let me know. Tell me your sun and water sign moon. Teach me how to meditate. Yeah, he taught me how to meditate. Ego death, tell the whole story, man. Don't make it short. Okay. Okay, so that's just me giving the backdrop story, right? Tell me your sun and the water moon if you have one. But if you have a different moon that's not a water moon, tell me your sun and moon. So he told me how to meditate. I was like, let me go back to the first Aquarius guy. He's the one that looked like ODB. My family said he looked like ODB. But I feel like he entered into my life for a reason. Do you fart on your men? I have in the past, yes. Aiming for moons, shooting for stars. So look, there's this he's an Aquarius, right? He popped in my life when my sister passed away. I felt like he popped in my life to comfort me and be my friend and be there for me and offer me love at that time. I honestly genuinely feel that way. Would he, I don't know what he would think that he popped in my life for at that time. Maybe I could ask the cards. But thanks Spirit, I got that thing. Spirit said not right now. And he gave me a sign by doing that. So but he taught me how to, he didn't teach me how to meditate. He tried to find ways to explain to me how to meditate, but he did a bad job. He basically said, don't think anything. I said, how do I not think of everything? Because I low-key had anxiety because I was hyper vigilant. For a long time, I was hyper vigilant, and I didn't even realize that I was hyper vigilant. I just was always on alert for something, even if nothing was happening. So he didn't know that. I couldn't find a way to explain it. What's my mathematics? What does that mean? You have everlasting love. So, long story short, with that aspect, he told me to just quiet my mind and stuff. So I started to do research and stuff back then on how to meditate. I would try to do guided meditations, and sometimes I'm so hyper vigilant, I would freak out sometimes in the aloneness of myself in my room trying to do guided meditations. That's how hyper vigilant, that's how much anxiety and probably trauma I had, to where I couldn't even do a guided meditation peacefully. I couldn't even trust closing my eyes listening to a guided meditation. That's how hyper vigilant I was at the time. You're hypersensitive? Interesting, though. I mean, to be honest, maybe to some extent I'm both. But back then, I had a whole bunch of hyper vigilance. So, like, um, so it got to a point where I eventually I figured it out though after trying to study for like a long time. I dedicated a lot of time trying to figure out, like, not intentionally dedicate a lot of time, but over time I ended up finding different books to read, not on meditation, but I think it all helped like calm down anxieties, and I felt like I experienced like aspects of love, and I think like those types of things always like slowly healing me in a way. Um, Also, around this time period, I had my first experience of speaking to somebody who passed on, aka my sister. When she passed away, I felt like she was speaking to me, and that wasn't even something that's not something my brain could make up that I was able to do, because I didn't even consider doing that. So the fact that she was talking to me and she had passed the same day that a man took her life, she was talking to me. That's not something that I would have ever made up in my life. I promise you. So that was when I started to realize more spiritual activity even though as a child I already experienced spiritual activity. So you can imagine why it was so hard for me to learn how to meditate. Like it was just so hard for me to meditate. So eventually I started to get the hang of it the more I healed myself. Now looking back, I could say I was healing myself. I once took salva and had a trip where I became a meatball and lived in a bowl of pasta and I had meatball family and I lived in that reality for 30 years the whole last 15 minutes. That's hilarious. Am I taking too long to get to the story, real dude? Can you tell me what rising represents? The rising sign represents how other people may see your energy. So, what did you say your rising sign was, Leon? Whatever your rising sign is, that's how other people perceive your energy. That's how they engage with it. You're so beautiful. Oh, thanks, Michi. So look, long story short though, I ended up figuring out how to meditate. I felt like on accident. I was too hyper vigilant to really do it. How do you copy paste a comment, Jewel? I don't know, Nicole. I really don't know. So, long story short, I found out how to meditate. Boom. Now, fast forward, there's another Aquarius guy. That's my friend that y'all probably heard me on the phone with a few days ago. He said his name was Don Julio, by the way. It's another reason why he's calling himself Don, because he low key want to call himself John. I don't know if there's a way that I can like put all the dots together for you guys. If it, whatever. Somebody said Don Julio. He want to call himself a John. Like, you know what I'm saying? He at least said that as a joke before one time, like years ago. But he so yeah, Don Julio. So me and Don Julio, we go way back, like two flats on a Cadillac. Like we go back low key. That's like my friend. That's my homie. You know what I'm saying? But we used to be together. So he's low key actually my ex, right? It's a long story, y'all. It's a long story. But so something that happened one time was he told me, he was like, "Yeah, you should do shrooms with me." I was like, "I've never did shrooms." I said, "What have you ever did?" He was like, "Really?" He said, "I've done it a few times." And he was like, "So I can tell you what it's gonna be like, or I can tell you what it kind of is gonna be like." He was like, "But he has a homeboy. His homeboy, his homeboy is low key like one of those people that is like he's local, but for some reason he's always around a famous person." He's local. He's a clothing designer, but somehow he's always around like famous people. Like he's a rapper. It's so interesting. Nicole, hit the comment, hold, and copy your keyboard. Jewel, I just took some X pills. When? Just now, Destroy? I know that head fire. What the freak? So look, let me finish the story before I lose my point. If I lose my point, can y'all help me find my point, y'all? Because this drink it's gonna make it harder. We met at the choir concert. We were in Panda for lunch. She comped into my eyes. I get that a lot. Then we sat together on the bus on the way back and held hands. We was having fun and her hands was soft. Nicole, y'all might be friends. Yeah, you should be friends with her. So look, let me finish. Destroy, where's your 100 super chat? Exactly, right? And where is LMAO okay? I wonder, does he at least be here to listen to my stories? I'll be wanting him to hear my stories. It doesn't matter, but let me finish. So, look, let me finish, right? So, he had told me he had did shrooms a few times, but he said his homeboy, he had did, like acid tabs and all this stuff, which isn't news. It's not news for me to hear that because some dudes from my hometown, especially from where he's from, they kind of do stuff like that. They kind of randomly do stuff like that, okay? So he's kind of like he kind of, not my friend necessarily, but his friend reminded me a little bit of an aspect of the vibe of like the crowd that does that in music. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it like that. So, anyways, going back to my friend. Guys, you fine, girl. Not gonna lie. All thanks, y'all. So look, going back to my friend. So my friend, right? He he was like, yeah, so just do it with me or whatever. I was like, what's gonna happen? He said you gonna have an ego death. I was like, what the freak is an ego death? He said it's just gonna help you understand yourself more and all this stuff. To be real with you guys, that sounded like exactly what I was seeking in life, especially at that time. At that time, I was really trying to find myself because I was trying to like I wouldn't have considered it this, but I was trying to break generational curses, and I was not. Ego death is real. Yeah, I was trying to break generational curses, and I was also trying to, like, I was looking for validation, but I was trying to go about it in a healthy way. So I was trying to find myself, which I don't think is a bad thing. I felt like I spent a lot of years though in that energy, which is not a bad thing at all. Um, so around that time, I read a lot of books. I did a lot of healing. I did a whole kind of stuff or whatever. And throughout my life, I have always had periods where, even though I can meet friends, make friends, for the most part, I've had moments where I'm isolated and kept away. So it's like, I feel like the Most High God's always preserving me, which is for purpose, is intentional, which I don't fight that at all. So, long story short, so he was like, yeah, he was like, we can just microdose. Like, I'll just let you microdose off of it. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, okay, cool. So, I'll never forget. He was like, yeah. So I ended up going to his house because I was gonna spend the night, and we was gonna do shrooms together. I was gonna spend the night. It was gonna be cute because I'm with my boo, right? Like, I don't know why, but let me tell you guys a little bit about how me and this guy met and what he said to me. So we met off of Twitter, you guys. Like, it's so crazy because I don't meet a lot of people. Was it shrooms, DMT? It was shrooms. But he told me he did. I feel like he told me he did DMT, and I'm pretty sure he did the other one, the salvia. Was it a good trip, sitter? I did Molly in 2014, best night I ever had. Gigi, what? Won't you thirsty though? Did you feel dehydrated at all? Look, I promise you, I went to a Travis Scott concert. I think this was like back in like 2016. And I promise you, I drank off of somebody. I used to be wilding out. I used to be wilding out. That concert, it was like Young Thug and it was Travis Scott and Young Thug. I don't know why I was in the concert wilding out. I drunk off of somebody, and I promise you, it felt like I had took Molly. There was this random tall Jamaican man. Mind you, I came in there with my sister and my friend, who I suspected was, you know what I'm saying? And randomly in the concert, like, I used to manifest. I manifest really easy. So all I know is that this man, this random Jamaican man, he came over to me. He was like, he was like, you want to be up in the air? Or I don't know how to do the accent, but he was like, you want to be up in the air? I was like, what? He said, you want to be up. I'm thinking he's talking about like the venue has like a top half or whatever. I was like, no, like that. I forgot what I said to him. Next thing you know, this man picks me up. This man was so tall. Like, I'm kind of short. I'm a shorty. I'm five something. I'm not gonna tell you guys. I'm five. I'm like low key a shorty. I'm like average height. This man had to have been like 6'4". And he's just picking. He picked me up in the air. He's like tossing me basically up in the air, y'all. And then it's so crazy because he's tossing me and I'm low key spinning in the air as well. I was like, yo, that was like the funnest, littest night ever. And I promise you, I'm pretty confident whoever I drank off of that night, which why the freak was I doing that? That night felt like a rave. It felt like we was in a rave. I knew almost every song. I'm being tossed up in the air. Like, it was crazy. That night was crazy. Never knew that man's name. Probably, I don't even know if I shook his hand afterwards. Somebody said, well, what are we talking about? Well, we were talking about microdosing, and I'm going to get back to that. But it was so fun. Like, I used to have so much, like, fun. Like, I used to have so much fun, y'all. So, yeah. Jewel, what year was this? He came to Norfolk. They came to Norfolk, Virginia. I think this might have been like 2000. Let's see. I don't know. That's a good question, y'all. It might have been like 2015, 14, 15, 16. All I know is that Rodeo was out. So when did Rodeo drop, y'all? Were you sweating heavy? If it was, yeah, I was. But I thought I was sweating heavy because we was in a venue. That was the first time. There was a second time where I felt like I intentionally did it, but I'm not going to say for sure just in case. There was a second time where I intentionally did it, and I had fun, but I had fun, and I wanted to see what it was like to do certain things on it. And it was cool. It was cool. Was he built or slender? He was low key from my memory too. He was low key slender, so I for sure didn't think he was going to be able to toss me up and for that long. Like, he just kept on throwing me up in the air, basically. And I was just thinking to myself, like, yo, he is small. Like, he's like, what? How is he doing this? Jewel, just like earlier, I just got here. What are we talking about? We talking about random stuff. Really, I'm talking about microdosing on shrooms. Young Thug and Travis Scott, a great concert. Yeah, I think it was like I think it was like for rodeo. So I don't know what year that was. What did you do while you were on it? The first time I was at that concert having fun, having the best night of my life. Back then, I felt like I had a lot of lit times, and it was like fun. It was simpler. More people was able to have fun. My friends knew I was crazy, so like we used to go out and stuff, and they just knew I was going to have fun. Like, I was going to make sure I had fun. Hopefully they had fun, because I was trying to make sure they had fun too. But that was the one time that I literally lost them. That never happens. And because I lost them, I was looking for them. And the crowd kept on moving in at some point, because, you know, Travis Scott sets, they mosh. There's always a mosh. So my sister and the boy who we went with, they both actually got caught up in the mosh pit. They had got caught up in the mosh pit, and that's where that's where we all was sitting. I had stepped away because I had to use the bathroom or something. I actually don't remember why I got lost in the crowd. Something happened. That was the first time we ever split up like that. So my sister was stuck with our friend or whatever, and that's why I was up in the air, like some Jamaican man was tossing me up in the air. Lala, what's your YouTube account so I can sub? Yeah, you miss those days. I miss those days too. I promise you, I had the best fun, the most. It was amazing. And just to put in context, I still kind of remember what Young Thug wore. He came in, and he had on this long pink. It almost looked like a cover up, because it was kind of like, it looked like it was kind of knitted, if from what I remember. But he had this long pink. It looked like it was knitted. He probably had got it from the mall across the, I don't know where he could have got it, but he had on like something like that. So I don't know what tour that was, but I'm pretty sure it was like rodeo. I'm pretty sure it was Travis Scott's rodeo. I don't remember even who opened up for who, actually. But it didn't matter. It was fun. The second time I did Molly, though, it was okay. I wanted to see what it was like on doing something. I mean, I was at a party too then. Rodeo was 2015. It must have been 2015. It must have been 2015. I kind of want to say 2016, but for real, I feel like we was on their tour. So we was there during their tour. So, Jewel, I need your plug. I had the most fun that night, and when I ended up meeting up with my sister and my friend, I told them, I was like, yo. They was like, where were you? I was like, where were y'all? They was like, yo, we got caught up in the mosh pit. They was like, they said something like they started throwing bowls, and I don't know if my sister got hit or something happened. I was like, dang, that's crazy. And they was like, what about you? I said, yo, I ran into this random Jamaican man. He was like so tall. He had to be like 6'7", and he was tossing me up in the air. That night was crazy. That night was fun. I'm not gonna lie. What were you doing the second time you tried Molly? The second time I tried Molly, I was being grown. I didn't need to be, though. I didn't need to be, but just so happened. To be real with you, though, I feel like the most effects of it being cool was like while I was at this party. So I was just like chilling. I was meeting different girls. I came in there with a guy. I'm meeting different girls. The guy I went with, he's a famous producer, y'all. And when I tell you, he was the type of person, he's the type of person that when he get drunk, he could be like either manic or he could be like something else. I could only imagine you flying through the air, kicking your feet up. I kept on being scared he was going to either drop me or I was heavy. For some reason, this nigga was tossing me up in the air like this. I might as well was flipping like this in the air. He just kept tossing, and he did not stop, y'all. Like, we went through a few songs, and then there was a time period where we stopped, and I was like, that was crazy. And then the next song came on, and I was like, hey, I'll start singing this song. Next thing you know, I'm being tossed in the air. He tossed me in the air again. I'm like, yo, what the freak? It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm like, dang, the whole time getting tossed in the air. My sister trapped in the mosh pit. She lost a shoe. That's what it was. My sister lost a shoe. But a good thing that came out of this, y'all, is that she had met her future boyfriend in the line at that concert because something is wrong with me. We was in the line, y'all, and I'm randomly talking to like, why am I like this? I'm talking to random people in the line. I'm talking to random people in the line. There's a tall boy that's in front of us. And I tap him and I'm asking him something. I'm like, yo, how long this line gonna take? How long y'all been out here? He was like, huh? And like he started talking to me back. Long story short, that ended up being my sister's future boyfriend. That was crazy, right? It's because something is wrong with me. Like, I just be talking to random people. Like, somebody said, Jewel, you been to Rolling Loud? Have I been to Rolling Loud? I've been to I can't remember if I think I have been to Rolling Loud, and I've been to the first something in the water at Virginia Beach that Pharrell hosted. That was crazy too. But let me get back to the shrooms, y'all. Let me get back so I don't derail completely. I went to Rolling Loud. It was crazy. Cardi and Ken Carson had the mosh pits going crazy. I've been to concerts where they did have mosh pits. Low key, I like mosh pits, but I'm intimidated. Like, I'm always intimidated by mosh pits because it can get out of control, and you can't ever. Nobody can really fully die down a mosh pit while it's happening. So it's like in my opinion, it takes a risk. It takes a risk for you to really be in the mosh pit if you're a girl like me. Jury, can you explain sink water tastes better than regular water? What the frick? Nicole, I don't know how to explain that. But I think there's some truth to what you say. I think there might be some truth to what you're saying, Nicole. Somehow sink water tastes better than regular tap water. Hell yeah, enjoying yourself, that's what life's about. Exactly. I ain't surprised. Definitely we lose a shoe or so. Yeah, or two and try. Gigi is funny for that. I was held hostage in a mosh pit for 2 hours one time. And that's the stuff that I fear. I be fearing stuff like that. Like, you can't ever anticipate the trajectory of a mosh pit. You will have to be a mosh pit expert to really fully calculate how to get in and then also get out. That's the thing. Sometimes it's so easy to get in, it's hard to get out because once you in, you're in. So what we talking about with one shoe? Well, the way Gigi talking about some soul. Gigi being shady in the comments. I'm still weak. We can all agree that Travis has the most craziest hyped up mosh pits. I agree. Because every time his songs come on, I be wanting so bad to be in that mosh pit. But I know for a fact I cannot compete with them people. I cannot maintain in the mosh pits with them people. They be throwing bowls. They be vicious. They be people in there like, I'll be like, yo, once you down on the floor, it's over. I promise you. That's one thing that I know for sure. If you ever get down on the floor in a mosh pit, you better get your ass up as quick as you can, even if you bring somebody down in the process. People die at mosh pits. I heard a story. This one guy was in a mosh pit and somebody elbowed him in the jugular vein. Oh man, that guy died like 4 hours. That's sad. You sent the photo, Nicole. I'm gonna see it in a second. Let me finish the story. So yeah, mosh pits is a gamble, okay? I don't really be playing with my life like that, I'll be honest. So even the last time I went to a concert with my sister, that was like a big venue like that. I remember we was close to the front, and that's always like a gamble. You would think that everybody wants to get close to the front, so the closer you are to the front of the stage, that's where the most pressure is. That's where you can't almost breathe. And they always trying to get people to back up, but like soon as your favorite artist is on stage, you can't anticipate people are going to care about backing up because everybody gonna be excited trying to move forward. Stuff like that. Anyone hitting me is getting knocked the fuck out. Exactly. That was me who elbowed him in the jugular vein. I had to get out one way or another. Was Travis the one where like 8 people died at a concert? Every time I've been to a Travis Scott concert, I ain't gonna lie, I had so much fun because I be liking his. I be feeling like I know his songs or something. Hold on, let me try to see what Nicole picture is, y'all. So, Nicole, I didn't see your picture. So let me go back to the story about the microdosing, y'all. Two of them were children. Yeah, that was a sad event. Let me tell you. Okay, y'all. What do y'all want me to talk about now? Let me go back to the microdosing story. So long story short, because I don't know how we got here, other than somebody asked me about Molly. But I feel like going back to the thing, he said you have an ego death. I was like, he tried to explain me what ego death is in the most vague way possible. I don't know what's up with boys. Like, do boys not fully understand the concept of what's happening? He described to me what an ego death was, as in I was going to find myself. Boy, you should have told me that I was going to have to anyway. You sent me a new one. I'm gonna see. Jules, please go to Ken Carson or Playboy Cardi concert. I'm just scared that I'll get attacked by a real demon. uh, you gonna love it. I don't feel like what if I don't know enough songs and they get mad at me? What if somebody throw me in the mosh pit? There's so many variables. Where am I gonna be at in this concert? Am I gonna be in the crowd or am I gonna be in the safe place? Yo, how are you tonight, Julrae? I'm doing good. Look, two people sent me $100 super chats and they matching. It's who else is matching? Who's matching for my birthday live? Let me stop. I'm actually kind of being serious. You gonna be in the mosh pit? I'm weak. Look at me, I need money. Well, I'm not really so much as look at me, I need money. Two people then sent me donations and I appreciate it and they have a concept going. So anyways, let me finish, you guys. Let me finish my story. Because people be hating. Why do people get so mad when people send you gifts? They never received a gift in their life, huh? I'm sorry. When it's Christmas and your birthday, you never received a gift. Nobody cares about you or something. Why are you upset? What's happening over here? So let me finish the story, y'all. So he told me I was gonna have an ego death. Thanks, Leon. So I was like, okay, how I'm gonna take it? He said we're gonna microdose. I said, how we gonna microdose? So he did this thing where he put it like on Tumblr. I've seen this on Tumblr before. That's why I say it like that. He literally made a PBJ sandwich. He literally made a PBJ sandwich and he put an amount up there. He said, okay, you eat this much and that's gonna be you. I said, are you sure this is microdosing? He was like, yeah. So I ate it. Somebody said, oh shoot, I'm sorry, happy birthday. Thanks, Jordan. You become a new person, allegedly. That's what he said, right? Nicole, why are you hiding people? You gotta unhide them or they'll never come back. Nicole, this is a cute picture of you. She has tiny hands. That girl has tiny hands, Nicole. Why tonight the moderators keep hiding people? Like, I don't necessarily like if they're completely like blatantly like third day in here trying to be disrespectful. I think that's room to hide them. But other than that, sometimes it be like it don't be that deep. So we ate a PBJ together. Basically, I ate half, he ate the other half. I feel like now that I think about it, I can't remember. I still to this day remember me going with him somewhere to get it with some. It was some white boy. Some white boy gave it to us. For some reason, I low key trusted it because of how the way the white boy looked. He looked like the type to not only have the shrooms but to know where to get the shrooms. He just looked like the type. Nicole, why do you keep doing the same thing? I'm confused. You're gonna lose. Everybody's gonna lose mind if they keep hiding people who's up here. Sometimes it don't be that deep. Sometimes we can just time them out for 10 seconds till they get the message. Like, oh, every time I say this, I get timed out. Make things inconvenient for them, but you don't have to always hide them. Does that make sense? So we went and there was a white boy or whatever. The white boy, he um he looked like it's fine, Nicole. I know. I'm just saying for future reference. Nicole playing hide and seek. You see it, peekaboo. She playing peekaboo. So, anyways, he took half, or I think he took maybe a bigger slice than me, but I definitely had half. And so we ate it, whatever. Everything was cool. Mind you, this was my dude at the time, right? So we just chilling, whatever. He was like, "You feel it yet?" And I was like, just giggling. I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "I don't know." Then I was like, "Oh, wait, I think I feel it." And he was just like, he just was like, he was like entertained and amused by me. I was like, oh, I think I feel it. And so then we started watching a TV show. What movie we watched? We watched some black movie. I can't remember the name at this moment. It was a movie that at that time I hadn't seen before. I can't remember what the movie is. But as we watching the movie, y'all, every experience that I ever seen about this, or like Family Guy, mind you, this is my reference. Family Guy and years before that of on Tumblr. Cause Tumblr was really popular like 2010s to 2013. Those are my experience of seeing pictures about psychedelics and like how it is. So I'm watching this movie with him. We chilling. We laying in his bed. By the way, we laying in his bed. Mind you, at this time though, let me just explain this because I think this will put it in perspective. Before I did this with him, he was telling me the different books that was by his nightstand. On his nightstand, he had the 48 Laws of Power. He had some pimp book about how to pimp hoes. Devin was put in jail today, protecting himself against his wife. Shanice, what? What's happening? Shanice, Shanice, you popped in here with a random tidbit. The last time you popped in here, you say you was signing books in Orlando. Like, what's going on, Shanice? I don't even think I'm familiar with this person. I don't think I'm familiar with this person. Yeah, so he had like different books like that. Mind you, he's the person who introduced me to the actual thing about ego death. Like I have kind of read it here and there, but he kind of had like the thing that I like about him. I'm not gonna say that right now, but he's an Aquarius. Let me just say that he's an Aquarius. So he's showing me the different books by his book stand and stuff. Free your brother, get to work. Shanice, are you telling me to get to work by any chance? Because I know for a fact you not in here being rude, girl. Cause I ain't did nothing to you. Shanice always comes in here and drops some random snippets she reads online. Yep. And she's also thank you. Shanice, are you being rude to me? I am heaven. Somebody said crack up. Shanice, you being rude to me, yes or no? So anyways, she about to start getting blocked, y'all. She about to start getting timed out coming in here. The last time she came in here, she said, I'm in Orlando. She said, I'm in Orlando signing books. So anyways, so so yeah, he was showing me these different books. And I was like, why are you reading a book about pimps? And he started laughing. He was like, just in case. I forgot what he said. It was crazy. It was crazy. Whatever he said was crazy. And girls are funny. Whatever he said was crazy because I knew it didn't necessarily apply to me. However, he was most definitely reading this book for some reason. And I have reason to believe that some of the conversations that I had with him up to that point made him start to read about that. Because I was talking to him about some other stuff. But in his mind, maybe he went to that direct. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But long story short, I just can tell that he was into certain stuff. So we did this rooms, we were watching a movie, watching some black movie I never seen before. The whole TV or whatever, I think it was a projector. I think he had a projector in his room at this time. The whole video, Nicole couldn't wait to time her out. You see the GG. Shanice ain't even have time to defend herself. Jury, I have 10 hands than her. We checked her hands barely passed me. Interesting. What's good, Jewel? Was it the Iceberg Slim Pimp book? It was a classic. I think it was. I think it was. Q, you a Leo, he an Aquarius. I think it was. Y'all are sister signs. I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, he told me that's exactly the book. Because I remember after he told me before I seen it, he told me he was reading this. So I told myself I was gonna find it on a PDF and read it. So I low-key did find like a portion of it on a PDF and I started to read it. Just so that way I can kind of like understand what the book's about, because he did tell me that I should read it too, right? When I got over his house, he actually showed me the book. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this nigga is crazy. I'm not thinking much of it. We watching on his projector in his room, like the whole wall basically, because that's what I remember, I guess. The whole wall, mind you, okay, the whole wall, had some movie up there. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember I was giggling at different colors. Like there was different colors doing different things. Like it was legit like how the movies be showing when you do psychedelics. So I'm giggling because I'm kind of like, you ever been like psyched out to see something a little bit? Low key, I'm psyched out because I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is exactly what I've seen before. So I'm kind of giggling a little bit here and there, which is kind of like not abnormal when me and him was ever like chilling like that. So he's kind of like just like asked me like what? He's like, you feel it? He'd be like, what? You feel it? What you feel? Like he was like humored. So like something about him was the fact that I couldn't read him because he always had a smile on his face when he was talking to me. So I couldn't necessarily read him. Like I'm like, yo, I can't tell if he's being super sarcastic because there's times where he's sarcastic. So whenever he said something to me at that time, I was like low key super insecure at that time when it came to him, like just randomly. So like because he would be sarcastic, so I couldn't tell if he was being sarcastic and he was making fun of me. So there was like random time. I think that because of that small little thing of me not knowing if he was making fun of me, it made me have a bad trip like really fast, y'all. Y'all know how like they be showing movies and they be showing how things be all good in the beginning, and it was like it was all good until it wasn't, and then the movie goes dim or something like black and white. Y'all, that's exactly the experience. Like I felt like I had a good trip until he triggered me to be insecure at that moment. And then I started to have like I started slowly spiraling, y'all, because as soon as that happened, y'all, he turned into the devil. He was about to turn into the devil. Let me tell you guys. So look, so hold on. Somebody said twerk. Nicole, you can time out Ken. You can time out Kim. Somebody said neon lights and all. Yes, yes, Gigi. I've had mushrooms and they do make you giggle. Yeah, made you paranoid. Yes, he made me paranoid. But honestly, that was just me being a little bit insecure. Cause when I met him in particular, like it was kind of interesting how we met because he met me through Twitter. Like he had saw a random tweet of mine of me doing something and it made him laugh. So he interacted me with that. I might have been frying somebody. It probably was a random nigga who tried to talk to me crazy like how they be doing up here. Mind you, this is like almost 7, 8 years ago. It probably was a random nigga that wasn't my friend that day. That was the devil. Exactly. Yo, that TikTok audio is funny. Yo, that's exactly what happened. So look, I think he found me on Twitter, y'all, like locally, because I was considered a Twitter honey. Do y'all remember those days? Like people calling people Twitter honeys. So I was a Twitter honey. So like I always had a lot of attention, whatever. And like I knew different girls, and they were Twitter honeys too, or at least this one girl. And so I think he found me that way, and he saw me cussing somebody out or like reading or like I was clowning some boy who tried to say something to me. He was laughing. He jumped in and said his comments. Whatever it was very intellectual. And then we ended up exchanging numbers. I talked to him like that same day. We talked on the phone for like a whole few hours. Like, then he wanted to take me out to dinner. And then I think like the next day we went out for breakfast. And so we went out to breakfast. I looked really cute or whatever. This was when I was in my like, you know what I'm saying? I was for real, and I was like low key fresh off the porch on my get money phase, like you know what I'm saying, when you be having your first. Y'all know how people be playing around. They be saying, you know how a girl get her first trick. Like this was like around that time period, which is why I think my conversation at that time probably made him want to read up on pimps and hoes. I don't necessarily think he thought I was a hoe. I think that my conversation made him feel like he wanted to read up on that type of lifestyle. That makes sense. And maybe that's his way of trying to read up on it, because that might have been the closest thing he could call it. That makes sense. Does that make sense? Not to say that he thinks that I was a hoe necessarily, because I don't necessarily think he thought that for sure. I thought that he could sense that I was a free spirit because I could just say what I feel. And he probably had been around women who were very like super conservative. I don't know how to put it into words. Anyways, because I don't think I was super out there. I think I was just noticeable, like how I am now. Makes sense? Thanks, you. So that's how we met or whatever. And I was always apprehensive about meeting somebody off of Twitter because I had another experience that wasn't the best. I felt like this dude catfished me. But but he was cool. So we went out to breakfast. Then he took me to a 5-star restaurant. Like he was pulling out the stops. He was pulling out the stops. So I did like him outside of. It's like I already liked him for conversation. Then he was doing stuff like that. I was like, oh, I really like him. Anyways, low key, go back, speed up, fast forward to us. We chill in the bed, whatever. He did that one thing where he was laughing, like he was smiling. There's this thing that he does that's his personality. Well, he will smile and he will say something sarcastic, and it will make it. Back then I was more insecure and fragile. Secretly, I was secretly kind of open with him, kind of open with just him, but I was secretly more insecure. So he did that one little thing and it flipped, and I promise you I started to have a bad it got bad. When I thought it was getting just a little bit bad, it went super to hell when it came to me going through a bad trip. Because then, you know what I'm saying? That's my dude, right? So we sitting in the bed watching a movie. What you think we doing? We Netflix and chilling, but what y'all think we was doing? So we doing, you know what I'm saying? We doing what we supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily we supposed to, but we doing what we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I promise you, mid doing what we're doing, ever since he did that thing, y'all, he physically turned into the devil. Like first he turned into like Baphomet. Like you, like back then I didn't think of it like that necessarily, but he turned into Baphomet, which means that he looked like a man still, but he low key had looked like a kind of like a centaur. I don't know what they call it, but it's like he was kind of like half man, half goat. He wasn't half horse, but he was kind of like he had the goat horns, y'all. So I said Baphomet's the goat. Yeah. So his whole skin tone turned it a reddish tone, y'all. I kid you not, he turned a reddish tone. He turned a reddish tone. He wasn't half woman though. He turned because he's too muscular, so he turned a reddish tone. And I just will never forget. Like I was, I just never forget. I was on top of him. First of all, this is a grown person's conversation. If you're not 18 plus, get off this mother freaking live. Get off this mother freaking live right now. And Nicole, close your ears. Close your ears. Thanks, Katie. So, anyways, I'll give you guys a 5-second countdown to get off this mother freaking live if you're not 18 or up. 5. Nicole, close your ears. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Let me take a sip before I tell this story. Hold on. I said sip. I took 2 gulps. Okay. Jill getting freaky. So he was laying down, right? So I'm him right now. He was laying down. I was on top. I was on top of him. And I promise you, the more I'm sitting there on top of this dude, the more he turned into Baphomet himself. And I'm looking at him like, probably, I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool. But the more I'm looking at him, the more he's turning into the devil. I'm like, yo, I know I'm not tripping. I said, why is he turning to the... Before he turned into the devil, I promise you, I low-key seen the devil in the TV screen. And we weren't watching a physical TV, y'all. Y'all know how they be having those old school standing TVs that look like a circle almost? Not a circle, but y'all know what I'm talking about? We were watching a projector. Why the freak is the freaking projector looking like a condensed TV? So I'm on top of him or whatever, right? We trying to see, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see, he definitely trying to see what this is going to be like on some room. So like, freaking, I'm on top of him. Somebody said, just grab the horns and hang on. Mind you, this is my nigga. I'm wildly attracted to this man in more ways than one. But I couldn't help but to notice that he's turned into the devil. Y'all, it got to the point where I got scared because I didn't get too... I was keeping my calm as I'm watching him transform into having horns. He had horns. His skin was red. I'm watching him transform into the devil, Satan himself. It wasn't until I was looking at him and he freaking smiled and grinned at me. I got so mother freaking scared. I got so mother freaking scared. I never hopped up off of that, and I ain't have a reason to. And I was like, ah. He jumped up and he was so concerned. He was like, "What's wrong?" Mind you, he's jumping up and he's concerned, talking about some, "What's wrong with you? What's good? Like, what's wrong?" He still looked like the devil. He don't know that. He don't know that to me. He looked like the devil himself. even though even though I know that I'm like tripping, I consciously am knowing that I'm tripping, by the way. I'm trying my hardest because I have like low key tripped on just weed before. Like I had this really strong weed one time. I tripped before. So a part of me knows that I'm tripping, so I'm trying my hardest not to. He was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Nothing, nothing." Nothing. So it didn't completely dry up because I knew I was tripping. So it didn't completely dry up. I knew I was tripping. I was like, "Nothing, nothing." I was like, "But you," I said, I said, "I think I'm tripping." I start whispering to this nigga. Mind you, we're the only person in this house. We're the only person in this house. While I'm whispering to him, I said, I think that you turned into the devil." He told me, "So what you talking about?" He laughing at me. Mind you, every time he laughs at me, he enhances more as the devil. Every single time he smiles and laughs at me, he enhances as looking like the devil. So he and mind you, the reason why this is like from a sober perspective, looking back, the reason why this is happening is because every time he did that, it made me feel insecure. So I'm thinking he's coming from a nefarious place. So on psychedelics, he manifested as Baphomet. And honestly, to some extent, what if he was in that energy because of the books he was reading? I don't know. Every time he smiled and laughed, I whispered to him, I said, "I think I'm tripping." I was like, "But you turned into the devil." I said, "You look like the devil right now." He started laughing and he turned more into the devil. I got scared, so I tried to play it cool. I get back on that pony, I start riding, right? You know what I'm saying? So after everything's said and done, whatever, and then maybe he had bad intentions for you. I thought that too, real dude, because maybe, right? He had just showed me all of his nefarious books too, by the way. So I feel like he himself, like me as an actual intuitive person, he was already in that energy. Like if I knew my gifts to the extent of how I know it now, I probably would have been able to for real pick up on it. What did Gigi say? Give a whole new meeting to drop down and get your eagle on. Your eagle death on. Exactly. This nigga turned into the devil. He not even a Capricorn. He not even close to Capricorn season. Why the freak he turned into a devil? So anyways, I was like, dang, that's crazy. I was like thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just fucked the devil. In my mind, I was like, Satan himself just visited to me, and he can only visit me when I'm high like this. I'm just bugging, I'm tripping, I'm stuck in my mind. I know I can't tell him every single thing I'm saying because back then we had some low-key disconnect at times when it came to certain stuff. But it's not intentional. It just was that I feel like I couldn't explain myself. I used to have a hard time trying to like explain, not necessarily explain myself, but like say it in a way where people can understand. Because I was so used to not ever having to like, I was so used to just keeping stuff in. So with him, I was like being more open. So anyways, anyways, he turned into the devil. I was riding that pony. I was like, mind you, let's take a little snapshot look at Lil Nas X. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody said, "Jewel, you still cool with him?" Yeah, I was just talking to him the other day. I just talked to him today, actually, and I talked to him yesterday too. Or did I talk to him yesterday? I definitely talked to him today. So, anyways, he turned into the devil, y'all. And then after that, I just kept on tripping though. So like, I'm trying to go to sleep. I can't go to sleep. Why? Because y'all, when I'm trying to go to sleep, life turns into the Hunger Games. I promise you, this was the worst trip ever because there was like these white people who left their dogs. So like he was living in like a place and there was these white people that lived with him. they weren't home, but their dogs was there. Every time their dog barked, somebody died in my reality. My mind was telling me every single time when their dogs barked, it was a signal to everybody in the Hunger Games system that somebody new across the world died, y'all. And to make it worse, I was on my social media. So I was considered a Twitter honey, right? So like I used to get a lot of attention on Twitter. So like every single time I was on Twitter and I would see somebody's tweets go viral like my own, my brain was telling me every time my tweet went viral is because I sacrificed somebody. Like, and not just me, but anybody else. Like, my mind was saying every time, like, I would see different influencers or different famous people, and my mind was telling me the reason why that these people had such large followings was because they sacrificed somebody, and we know that they did it because the dog would bark. Why the freak was I thinking like that? Back then, I had there was this one person before I was with him. The dude from Chicago. He used to tell me stuff and it was almost as if he wanted to just scramble my brain. Like he would tell me weird stuff like all the time. Like he used to tell me I had a demon. He used to tell me like my demon used to possess me while I went to sleep. Like he used to tell me weird stuff and I think it like scrambled my brain. He was like, you gotta pick a side. He was like, you can't be light or dark. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, if he was like, you're gonna get shot on both sides. He was saying metaphorically. So metaphorically, he was trying to say like, if you're going to be too light, the dark side is going to shoot you. But if you're kind of dark, the light side is going to shoot you. It's interesting because now that I really think about it, he said some real stuff. Because fast forward, I see it. But anyways, he used to tell me some weird stuff like that, like randomly, and he wouldn't explain himself a lot of times, and it was just so weird. Somebody said I heard dogs barking. You had this, you know something. I had the same feeling. Listen, so I'm looking at my social media. And so like whenever somebody would say something, I would think that people was living I would think that people's regular tweets was them living in their reality trying to play it cool on what they did. Meaning like at the end of this night, like this is what the psychedelics was telling me. They was like at the end of this night, you gotta pick who you gonna give up. Now, who the freak am I? Like, what the freak is this about? And the part of the reason why I also think I was thinking this was because whenever I started going viral, I was going viral around that time. And there was a lot of different people who had, like, they were saying rumors about me. So, like, random people were saying random things about what I was doing to get viral attention. So, different locals were saying different things. And it wasn't true. But also, my sister had passed away and I was still grieving that. Somebody said, Lala, what stuff on your face? So how many people did for all that dog barks? The dogs barked randomly a lot of times. So I would every time I looked at somebody new on my timeline and I would see them with a viral post saying something, whatever they said in my mind was them giving tribute to who they gave up. So let's say somebody said, my grandma, like granny, you don't even know how to make tacos like that. So what you talking about? Let's say that tweet went viral. I would think that person was giving a tribute to the fact that they off secretly their grandma. Yo, it was really wild. It was wild where my brain was taking me to. That's just one part of the night that I remember. My brain was taking me to that part of life. And it wasn't true. Somebody said, you micromanager. What does that mean? Or let's say somebody else said something where they was like, I hope tomorrow it don't rain. Then I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, somebody off in the rain. Like I don't know why my brain was doing it. It was really it wasn't fun though. I'm making light of it right now, but in the moment it wasn't fun because my friend at some point in time he went to sleep. Somebody said condolences. At some point in time, my friend went to sleep, and another part of the reason why I think I did that was because a part of me felt guilty. I was like, what if some reason I'm the cause for why my sister passed away? Like that doesn't make sense. But whenever something randomly happens in my life that I can't explain, I don't know where this comes from. I find a way to try to blame myself. I don't try to do that now, but back then I definitely did. so so yeah, that happened like all night till the sun came up. I remember he told me, he said, whatever you do, don't go to the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror. I was like, why? He was like, just don't do that. And apparently, he told me this before he took shrooms. Like, before we did it, he told me that. I was like, but why? Apparently, he did that one time on shrooms, and he said that that made him have a bad trip. I don't know. How long did you think the whole trip lasted for you in your mind? In my mind, this was lasting for, in my mind, the time wasn't moving fast enough. Time wasn't moving fast at all. So, of course, this was happening all night, like Jeremiah said, until the sunlight went up. When the sunlight comes up, the game, the Hunger Games, is over. Meaning, people don't have to. If they didn't give up somebody, they made it. They were able to like successfully clear it. But my mind was convincing me this was happening, y'all. I was panicking because I was like, do I tweet tweets that lets me know that I'm scared of what's happening in my mind? Do I tweet tweets that lets me know I'm scared of what's happening and that it makes other people concerned? What if I'm just legit tripping? Like, I'm thinking all these different things. My friend at this time, he didn't gave me the pep talk that I needed. He went to sleep. Like, he didn't care. I had a trip Friday and slept for 17 hours. I like he told me to go to sleep, but I low key sometimes if I'm too anxious like that, I can't go to sleep. So he eventually went to sleep. Also, he did at that time. At that time, he was in the military. So at that time, they did actually give him insomnia pills. So he told me, he was like, "You want to take my insomnia pills?" But I was scared that he was. I was y'all. He offered me insomnia pills. I was scared that he was making his sacrifice and it was gonna be me because he turned to the devil earlier. Yo, this is crazy. But I think low key my trauma was affected and targeted, and I think it showed my distrust for people. Jewel, whatever you do, don't do salvia. Why? Jewel, I had a trip where everyone changed colors when I greened out. That sounds fun though. Do or die beauty. Yeah, it was definitely a do or die type of thing. So, it was definitely a do or die type situation. Um, for a second, I thought somebody timed out Emmanuel. I was about to say who and how, but but yeah, that was a crazy night. I think he still remembers it because when I completely sobered up, like he went to work. He went to work that morning, and I was over his crib, so I was gonna wait for him to come back home, and then we was gonna before he went to work, he made me breakfast, and then he went to work, and then he came back, and by the time he came back, I was completely sober. So he was like, "Yo, last night was crazy." I was like, why you say that? Knowing I know, I remember everything, but I want to see it from his perspective. I was like, why you say that? Somebody said Taurus season, 100%. Yeah, that classified as a bad trip. I 100% feel like it was. Salvia is more potent than psychedelics. I feel like the reason why it didn't work for me was because, for one, I had a whole bunch of trauma unpacked. Like, I just got out of a completely emotionally psychological, like, ab abuse type of situation, low key. So, um, and two, come to find out that dude was low key. I don't know at what point, but he was doing evil eye at me. So, I feel like from my awareness now, I wouldn't be quick. I wouldn't jump to do it, but I feel like I would probably have more control because the last time I did, the last time I did an edible, I almost tapped into that vein of being high, and it was like I was too high to the point where my highness made me super aware of the higher dimensions that are in control. Does that make sense? The last time I did an edible, I was able to see the higher people in the spiritual realm, like in the heavens, that were completely in control. And I was fearful because, like, that means that I'm completely out of control. What if at some point in time they want to get rid of me? But at the same time, it helps me recognize parts that I need to still heal within myself, because obviously I have distrust in my. Somebody's laughing, I'm serious. Obviously, I have distrust of almost God, low key. Like, I know God loves me, but at times I fear that He's going to punish me because of the different things I've experienced in life for seemingly no reason. I always suspect that He's going to punish me, which means I need to unpack that type of trauma, right? So so yeah, but that trip was cool, I guess. I mean, it wasn't cool. I feel like it was cool for the first few minutes. If I wasn't insecure and he didn't trigger that, which by the way, I don't think he knows to this day that he triggered me to have a bad trip. Cause I don't even think at the time I thought of it like that. I believe you was on a good one. Remember my trip? I became a meatball man, family, lived with a bowl of pasta. Yeah, for 30 years. What type did I take? I'm gonna have to ask him because he might remember. God has your back, Jules. I agree, Red. I literally started researching something on my phone the last time I was high because I thought it was gonna make me go to sleep. But whatever I researched helped me calm down. I researched something and started reading into something and it helped me calm down. Have you ever encountered an angel? I feel like I have. I feel like I have encountered a real life angel in human form. At least two different times, but one time, twice, if that makes sense. But yeah. So I remember when he came back, I literally was like freaking out, trying to tell him and explain to him. But every time I was around him, like I was very emotionally open, I guess. Read upon the devil ring with psychedelics and angel entities. Really? Where should I start, real dude? Jury, look at my face real bit before I take it down. Okay, let me see. But yeah, so it was crazy. It was really crazy. Lala, your nails are cute. Lala, why every time I see you, you look younger and younger, low key? Oh, Lala, you're cute. Did you just make that video? I did 10 tabs on Friday and saw peacock feathers between my fingers and music notes were soaring around the room. The crazy thing about it is, in the beginning of my trip, while Jewel doing an all nighter, I could. What time is it? It's only 1:34 a.m. where I'm at. 10 tabs, Max is a professional. I agree. Like, who does that? I'm still scared to this day to do tabs low key, even though a part of me feels like it might be better. Like, a part of my brain keeps convincing me, I do it again, do it again. I don't think I'm ready to actually do it again. I think I should stay away from stuff like that. The last time I took an edible, y'all, I was up in the control room of the universe in heaven. I was in the control room of the universe in heaven, and I was like watching them look down on me, and I was fearful because I was like, at any moment, y'all could call the shots, and I'm defenseless. And they knew I was high. I was like, did y'all wait for me to get high so y'all can do this to me? God bless your soul. I'm just saying. I didn't have nobody to talk to at the time. I do it maybe once every two. Yeah. Could you sing a lullaby? What kind of lullaby? Jewel, I read if you're doing something quote unquote evil like sex, taking hard drugs, you will see the devil. But if you're doing something pure, you will see angels. Well, honestly, that night that I did the edible by myself, first of all, I took the edibles because there was a time period. There was a time period where I had these gummies in Atlanta because one of my friends would give it to me. And whenever I did the gummies, it would relax me and calm me down because I had high anxiety. And I would tell him, I was like, I have anxiety. And so he used to give me a special type. Hold on. Where do I find salvia? I need to have an ego depth ASAP. Also, I felt like that the reason why my trip involved that was because I needed to have an ego depth for real. And I did. Also, I definitely went to the bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror since he told me not to do it. He told me not to do it, and I went and I did it anyways. And I was staring in the. I don't know how long I was staring in the mirror. All I know, I don't think it was that long, but I know that he came to the bathroom and he was like, "I knew you was gonna look at yourself in the mirror." I was like, "Nothing's wrong." I felt like I felt more sane looking into the mirror. And my sister does drugs and gets high and uses me as someone to get her stuff. What you mean, Lala? Lala, you're a pretty girl, not in a weird way, respectful way. So, anyways, but the last time I did edibles, I was in the control room in the heavens, and I could see like certain stuff. I was like, I don't think I need to be high as a spiritual person. I was like, I don't want to be high anymore. And the high lasted for so long. I was like, yo, these edibles are too strong for me. I'm a beginner. I feel like I used to be a 420 person. I feel like my tolerance is so incredibly low. Never look in the mirror while you will hate your real being because your mind is in another dimension. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know, but honestly, I don't know if it's because I waited a longer time because the sun was about to come up when I went to the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror, but I didn't see whatever he was saying. I'm kind of nervous now to know what I would have saw if I looked sooner. What did Brad say? What did Brad say, y'all? Nicole, get in bed. School tomorrow, girl. Nah, la la. Veggies are the only edible you need. Exactly. I agree. I agree. So I say euphoria. Real dude, you ever looked in the mirror? If so, what did you see? I want to know too. Careful what you wish for, Leon. What did Leon ask for? I always wanted to see a real angel. Oh, let me tell you guys my angel story then. So I felt like I had an experience where I saw two different well, I did see two different people that I suspected were angels, but I did see another experience where I felt like I was like it was an angel too. Let me tell you the first experience. This was back in like 2013 for sure. Nicole, please do. It's very important. I care about you, girl. I agree too. Q right. You did psychedelics too? I was thinking the same, Max. Angel will scare the shit out of you. To be real with y'all, I be so nervous and scared to experience an angel for real. Like, I be feeling like them things, like, an angel is probably real deal scary. When have you ever seen somebody in the Bible be introduced to an angel and they were calm? It always scared the mess out of them people. But to entertain an angel, like in like maybe a person form, I feel like that's a cool thing to experience. So let me tell you that story. Y'all, I just saw a little gnat here, and the gnat was spiraling out of control. Who is trying to spy on me? That mess. They spiraling out of control trying to spy on me. You're right. I did. I didn't like myself. I bit the resentment in me, and I struggled to go back to my body. Like my mind couldn't accept that was me. Only once the store I was trying to get some cat. She was into it, planned to do it. Alawasha later in life. Real deep, real dude. I agree. So the time I felt like I was entertaining angels. So I was working at my first job. So I was in. I was working at my first job. I was a student. Okay. But this was when I started to like I always since I was Nicole's age, since I was 12, y'all, I for sure felt like I could work a job. Because I knew at a young age I liked money. I liked the freedom of having money and to buy whatever I wanted to buy and not having to ask my parents and or like do chores and stuff. Jewel, if you look in the mirror while on psychedelics, you get like weirded out with how you look. To be honest, I did get just a little bit weirded out because every time I looked at myself in the eyes, it almost felt as if like I expected it to look a certain way, but at the time when I looked at myself in the eyes, it was almost as if I was looking at myself like this, but I wasn't aware that I was looking at myself like this, so I just was looking at my reflection look at me like this. It wasn't too crazy when I looked is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. Um but there has been times where like have I ever had a I had a crazy experience looking at myself in the mirror, but I wasn't on anything. I just was in dim light trying to look at something. I don't even know what that could have been. Nicole, I get it. We have a connection. Can't assume why you're having nightmares. Talk with someone you trust. Wait, Nicole says she's having nightmares? It's on my list too, Q. I've done, but I haven't done the liquid form. Y'all talking about is Max and Q talking about DMT by any chance or Alawasha? I really don't sleep at all because I have really bad nightmares when I sleep, so I try to sleep as less as possible. Nicole, sleep is important. If you don't sleep, you can legit like it's bad for your health. Everybody actually needs sleep. If you don't sleep, you can be paranoid and stuff. It's not good. It's not fun. Yes, Jewel. Let's hope Nicole. Yeah, it's not good. It's not fun. Nicole, you have any melatonin around you? Your mom got any melatonin, Nicole? I looked at myself in the mirror when I was tripping and it was bad. That's crazy. I looked in the mirror when I was tripping because my friend told me not to look at myself in the mirror. Even before I went to the bathroom, he was like, make sure you don't look at yourself in the mirror. I was like, okay, I won't. Since I got in the bathroom, I remember turning on that light. Actually, he had me nervous. I was nervous, y'all. Look, y'all, I was nervous that if I walked out his room, the dogs that be barking, they're going to like have a random white person like take me out because I didn't take somebody else out. Yo, I don't know what I was thinking about. DMT is part of Aloha schedule. I'm gonna stay away from DMT and the other stuff. That's probably why she let me slide a lot because of skipping school. Nicole, take 12-ounce melatonin. I agree. Or some sleepy time tea. What? Sleepy time tea we have you knocked out too. Some or just drinking something very warm at night and calming down your mind, taking deep slow breaths before you go to sleep, thinking of the most amazing type of day you could ever experience before you go to sleep, Nicole. Stuff like that can help you go to sleep. Somebody said, you want tea now? Tea is just so nice and lovely at night. I'm doing good, 40. How are you? Hold on. Man, I hope you wasn't doing any fit on your birthday. Shut up, doggy style. Destroyer, how long did your trip last in your mind? So let me tell you guys the story about the angels. But my trip lasted, nobody asked me this by the way, but I feel like my trip lasted probably close to 12 or 16 hours. But low key, I feel like it was a good 9. It was a good solid 9 hours. But the rest was probably just me just like not being able to go to sleep because I was insomniac. Nicole, that's a great start. Talk with a counselor. Right before I was about to go to sleep, my boyfriend at the time had to get up to go to work. So you could imagine. I was about to go to sleep as soon as he had to get up. Nicole, you can always talk to me on here if you want. Would you ever do salvia, Jewel? I don't know what to expect with that. Do they make teas with some of that in there? Because I think I had tried that. Did I have a good birthday? Yeah, I did. I had 2 different super chats up here. Going to try it, Shambhala or Burning Man. Oh wow, 12 hours. It's shrooms times 1,000. If it's shrooms times 1,000, anything, I'm good. Every night I get 3 hours of sleep. For to be honest, Nicole, lately when I go to sleep, my sleep does break up like that. I personally think it's for different reasons, but sometimes that happens. I don't have nightmares in the morning when I sleep. Hmm. How is what? Have you tried to destroy it? Oh, yeah, I'm talking about something else. I don't even think Leon's still in here because I was going to tell him about my angel story since he was asking about that. But yeah, that dude turned into the devil. That was crazy. Y'all, I'm not. uh, Nicole, there's good guys in this group. Many reasons for nightmares. I could assume. I agree. I feel like Nicole is kind of a loner, y'all, and I think she thinks a lot about a lot of information that she's processing through her emotions as well. So I think that Nicole might be hypersensitive. Honestly, to be real, I think Nicole might be hypersensitive. You like to hear my angel story read? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Give me a second. I'm trying to charge my phone. Okay. So here's my angel story. So I was working at my first job, and while I was there was this weird experience, and I'll never forget because it just felt different. So there was this, and I've heard of my mom and one of her friends talk about different stories, and her friend in particular had random angel stories. Now her stories happen excuse me, whenever there was like a sense of danger. So glad Nicole is close with her mom. I agree. Lena's your favorite drug. I feel like as a girl, you shouldn't be messing with boy drugs like that. Well, Nicole, you should learn to trust people. I don't think Nicole has to trust people. What did she say? I only trust my mama. I don't trust anyone else. Look, Nicole, you a young girl. I ain't gonna lie. You are a Cancer. You're probably picking up on information that other people can't pick up on. So I'm not gonna say you're wrong, Nicole, but I feel like don't get to a point of being hypersensitive though. So let me go back to my angel story, y'all. I was working at this job basically, and there was this older couple that came to me. So when I saw, like, sometimes when I see people and I greet them and all that stuff, it's interesting. So when I saw them, they came straight to me. It's almost as if they just like did this and came right to where I was at, and they came up to me, and so I'm smiling, but I'm naturally smiling, and I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? So I'm telling them about my product that I'm selling. And I was really good in my sales, especially at this job. Like, I'm excellent. Like, humble brag, but not also humble brag, just humble. Humbly speaking, I was really good at that job. So I'm showing them my products that I'm selling in the mall. And they're talking to me, and then the guy is talking to his wife, so I assume. But he's talking out loud to me. Like, he's looking at me, but he's talking to his wife. It was almost if y'all ever seen a scene like in TV or something, and he was talking to his wife. He was like, she looked like our niece such and such. Let me just say a random name. Don't she look like our niece Tatiana? I don't think the name was Tatiana. And she was like, they both just are smiling just like how I'm smiling at them. And the wife was like, yeah, she sure do. I see it. And as they're saying this, I was just laughing, and I was just like, oh, I was like, well, look. They was like, yes, you're beautiful. She's beautiful, but you're beautiful. And I was like, oh, thank you. As I'm saying thank you to them, y'all, the guy, I'm looking at the wife and the guy like this, and I'm telling them thank you, and I might as well have been blushing a little bit because it threw me off guard, because they're just sitting there smiling, and something about their energy is interesting. I can't put my finger on it, and when I looked at between the wife, as soon as I looked at the guy again, he had this twinkle in one of his eyes. Only one. He had a twinkle in one of his eyes that was so bright. And I kind of caught it one time. When I was talking to the wife, and I looked over at him, and I thought I was tripping. And then I saw it again, and it looked as, I promise you, it might as well have been somebody that took a freaking, I promise you, it looked like somebody might as well had did this. Let me show you. It might as well have been somebody did this. But it was in his eyeball. I promise you, when that experience happened, I was so confused, because I was like, it literally almost did this to me, to where I almost did this. Like, mind you, behind me, there's a mirror. So if there was like an actual flash photography behind me, there's a whole large mirror and like lights. Like, the light surrounds the mirror, so there's no way somebody took a picture behind me because there's lights. So the fact that I literally just saw a glimmer in his eye, and then the second glimmer was as loud as a flash on a camera, what the freak was that? And so then when it happened, I was literally taken back, and this happened, and I was kind of confused, like, what the freak was that? And they both laughed, they both said their goodbyes, and they walked away. That was it. That was the first time. I didn't necessarily suspect that they were quote-unquote angels. I just thought the whole interaction was weird. It was almost as if they were pretending to be a human, is what I thought. Hold on. Nicole could be a dream, or it could be our brains with very traumatic experiences. It was my nightmare. What was Nicole saying was her nightmare? My mom let me stay up, and the rest of the night we talked. One nightmare, I was getting touched on by an older man in my bedroom. He was in his 60s, and I screamed, and then I woke up alone and stay home. Oh, yeah, Nicole, what the heck? I hope everything's okay with you, Nicole. But yeah, Red, it was so eerie, because nothing about them was operating like regular people. Does that make sense? Like, even when I greeted them, they didn't necessarily right away say hi to me. They just was smiling, like how I was smiling, and then they were talking to each other, like instead of talking to each other like this, they was talking to each other while looking at me, which is fine. Some people do that, right? But the way that they did it, it was kind of like, it was almost as if they didn't know how to be a human. I don't know how to put it into words. And then I saw that glimmer, and then it flashed in his eye. So then they walked away eventually, right? And I was always thinking, like, that was interesting. That was weird, right? But I never said anything. Mind you, I probably was still at that job for at least a few weeks. I don't know how long I stayed at that job, but I know that I was about to leave because I had got hired at a different mall somewhere else at a department store. At that job, I was working in the middle of the mall. So, of course, I never told them that. So, y'all, why I'm in my first month of the new job at my mall, at the different mall, why did they walk into my job with the same outfits that they had on that same day that they saw me at the first time at my job? Mind you, they could have been walking into the mall. It seemed like they walked into the mall just to walk to me. Y'all ever seen somebody in the mall and they're walking and then they see something and they kind of drift off? It looked like they walked into the mall just to do this, to talk to me. And then they walked into my newest job at a different mall. They did the exact same thing, y'all. I'm kind of like, I wish there was a way that I could explain this, y'all. This is weird. They walked into the second mall that I started working at. I stopped working at that job. This is like, now I've been working there for probably like a few weeks, close to a month. They beeline straight to me again and say, hey, as if we're catching up off of the last conversation. And why in the world did I remember exactly who they were? Now, I do remember a lot of people because I have a good memory, but at the same time, something about that was so weird and interesting. And I remembered them. I said, hey, I remember you guys. How are you guys? Mind you, they had the same exact clothes on from the last time. I don't know. I still haven't figured it out, y'all. Something about that is weird. The first time I seen them, it seemed like they were pretending on how to be a human. The second time, it looked like they were looking for me. And I just so happened to see them as they were looking for me. I don't know if they're agents or they were like angels. Nicole, could you be a dream to make you aware of your surroundings if you feel uncomfortable? Exactly, Nicole. Also, Nicole did tell me something where I feel like Nicole's mom maybe made her aware of predatory behavior that could happen. Sometimes when young women are made aware of the fact that predatory behavior could happen, sometimes it can perpetuate as nightmares of the fear of it happening. Does that make sense, y'all? You never created your classes, huh? There's a lot of predators, man. Yeah, sometimes if an adult makes a child aware of the dangers of predatory behavior at a young age, sometimes it makes them be hyper vigilant to it almost happening to them, especially if they have an experience to where maybe that could have almost happened. Like, let's say a guy was kind of looking at somebody creepy in a public space, and then a parent teaches the kid about it. Sometimes that can make a kid hyper vigilant on it being a thing because they're sensing danger now because their mom told them it's danger, so they're constantly like fearing, and it's actually worry. It's connected to worry. Somebody said there's a lot of predators, man, hypersensitive too. Yeah, so I like Nicole. It's not good to worry, Nicole. Don't worry. Wagwan for Jamaica. Look, Wagwan. Bomba It's called frequency. The kids is on that frequency. Yeah, but also I want to make this be aware because, like, Nicole never told me whether to share this or not. But I'm just saying, if I can even speak from my experience. I remember when I was super young, there was an adult that made me be aware of the fact that this could happen. That somebody could potentially do X, Y, and Z. And as a kid, it's good to be aware. But if you're a worrier, if you worry a lot, it could manifest in you being fearful of your surroundings. It can make you be hyper vigilant. It can make you have nightmares, even when nothing is actually happening to you. It's just the fact that you know that this adult has been concerned, and they're letting you be aware as to why. That can happen too as a young person. Wait, that was the Jamaican guy who was tossing you in the air at the concert. You found him tossing. I'm weak. If you look at a paper full of words, your mind would directly go to the word that is in your mind when the frequency you're on. Yeah, but I'm just explaining that because it's something else Nicole shared with me. I think that she's really just worrying because an adult made her be cautious to this type of behavior being a thing. It's no different than let's say Anthro is a young kid and he's in school and there's a substitute teacher that's a man. And the teacher that's a man, Anthro knows he's gay, and he makes a comment towards Anthro and says, Anthro, you're going to grow up to be a very fine young man. And Anthro, as a kid, detects that as weird and odd and inappropriate. And Anthro tells his parent. And then his parents tells him the cautions of older people that can prey on Anthro. Now, Anthro didn't actually become an actual victim. However, it was inappropriate. That can make him be hyper vigilant to the idea of the dangers of that type of behavior if it went further. Does that make sense, y'all? My mom go to buy me a keychain and stuff to protect me. But yeah, Nicole, it's not good to worry though, because for the most part, I think that you're very intelligent and you're safe, and I think you'll be precautious. I think you'll be precautious in the future. When you think of somebody, and if they think of what of you, most likely you will call the other. But yeah, the reason why I'm saying that is because when I was young, like Nicole, a similar type of situation in a way happened to where an adult made me be aware of the dangers of X, Y, and Z, and it made me myself worry about it. So it can manifest as you being hyper vigilant, overly protective of yourself, a little bit defensive. It can manifest in nightmares because you feel like you need to. Your brain is trying to protect you of the caution of danger, even if it's not present. AKA, it's worried. You know those keychains that have pepper spray and other stuff to protect me? Yeah, Nicole, I do know. And a taser, yeah. But I don't think anything bad has happened to Nicole. I think that she just was made aware by somebody making her feel uncomfortable in a public setting, which is my way of still protecting Nicole because she told me something in confidence, which I don't think is nothing that she should be ashamed of. But yeah, nothing happened to Nicole. I think that she just is made aware of the fact that there's perverts in the mall, that type of thing. Like, what if you had a sub and they looked at you and they said, baby, something like that. And then your parent made you aware of the fact that perverts are alive. It can make a person manifest in nightmares because they're worrying. So Nicole, I don't want you to worry because you're safe with your mom and all those things. So you shouldn't worry, Nicole. But as a young woman, you should take precautions, yes. Nicole, if you're thinking bad thoughts, practice interrupting those with good thoughts. Change your interest. That's good advice, Anthro. Nicole, be a young lady, live your life, dress appropriately, listen closely to people's words, tells you lie. I agree, Brad. I agree. Y'all, I feel like I'm just sitting down too long and I'm trying to make sure I don't have no wedgie without flashing y'all in this front part. So yeah. There's something else I was going to say. But that was my story. I don't even think Leon's up here to hear the story. But that was my story of feeling like I was entertaining like angels. The second time, it was with this random homeless person, y'all. This random homeless person, I to this day consider him an angel because he was just like right on time. If anything, he was spiritually gifted for sure. So yes, and stay around positive people. I agree. Hyper awareness is good. I agree, but hypervigilance is a mother effer. Jewel, what other psychedelics would you take? Y'all, this might sound crazy. Y'all. I would probably, with the person who I trust, I might try shrooms again. I never did anything else, y'all. I only did it because he suggested it to me, because he made me feel like it meant that I was going to have something, I was going to find the thing I was searching for at that time, meaning I was looking for answers about myself at that time. And he actually, low key, he was one of those people that helped put things in perspective for me too, especially at that time. Like, he was like, I don't think that you realize X, Y, and Z, and it probably comes from this. I was like, wow. So he kind of helped me a lot at that time. Not a whole lot, but he helped me enough to pinpoint certain things within my self concept and where it could have came from, as to why I even think that way. So he's helped me in that type of way, which is quite significant. So why did you break up with the devil dude? It's a long story, y'all. It's a long story as to why I broke up with the devil dude. It was drama. I ain't gonna lie, it was drama between me and him. But I felt like I can, like, at that time, I felt like I connected with him in such a way. And after we did the shrooms together, it almost made us have like a stronger telepathic connection, to where like he could almost, oh, while we had did the shrooms too, he would say stuff to me telepathically. But I feel like it was me just having spiritual gifts. So he would say stuff to me telepathically, and I would hear his thoughts, and I would just say something to him. My favorite things to wear. Oh, I read that. I really want to hear the story. What story, Leon? How long were y'all together? We was together honestly for a good amount of time. We was together for a good amount of time, and to be honest, we still keep in contact to this day. Even when I had moved. He had, like, we've been through a lot of different random events together in a way, which is why I feel like we have like an underlying friendship, if that makes sense. Because there's times where we still were connected while he was like on deployment. There's times where we had connected through him going through some things. There's times where we were still connected when I moved to Atlanta and I was pursuing my dreams. And he was different places. He ended up moving to Maine at one point. And he like contacted me and asked me to come up there and live with him. It's like, I don't know. We have different chapters low key kind of together, but a lot of the chapters I was like not effing with him too, because I was upset at something. So somebody said he rocks your world. I guess the last time I feel like he would consider that. But yeah, I don't know. But low key though, like, I felt like I was a mess. I felt like he was a mess. Um, and so I felt like it didn't work out. But we both connect here. We for sure both connect here in many different ways, because we also have like a telepathic connection. Is it telepathic or is it frequency? I feel like we have low key a telepathic connection, because I can like think of him and he manifests in my reality like this. And I mean, recently I tried to kind of like cut off the connection, but for a long time he kept on calling it a soul tie. I didn't at the time consider it a soul tie, but looking back, maybe it was. Because like he can pop up in my reality and it'll be almost as if we just picked up where we left off. Have y'all ever experienced those type of relationships? It's like we haven't realistically seen each other for a while, but we're picking up where we left off. Jewel, I'm gonna send you something. Okay. You say you saw a couple at the mall. Oh yeah. So basically, Leon, that couple I saw at the mall, they didn't seem human, and the guy had a twinkle in his eye. And the second time I caught the twinkle, it was like it took a flash at me. Drama sucks, drains your energy. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I think we both was low key attracted to that drama at that time for where we was at in our lives. Does that make sense? Like, let's say a new person entered to my life and they brought all that kind of type of drama, I would cut that person off. But because me and him already like solidified something with each other, the drama low key was like I can't say the drama was fun, cause that is toxic. But we low key both was like low key toxic. I'm not gonna lie. We had already built a solid foundation, like really, almost really fast. Like, it makes me wonder if he's like considered some type of soulmate at all. I really don't know. But the way that the foundation built, kind of like that. Are you attracted to Mexican men? You should date one. That's interesting. But if a new person came into my life with the same amount of drama, I would cut that person off with the quickness. Because it's like, who the fuck is you? Why do you think that I'm supposed to just accept you and all your drama? Like, I don't even know you. Does that make sense? Like, if a new person came with me with all that drama, I don't even know you. Why would I deal with you and your drama? Like, I would call up my friend and deal with him in the drama. Because we both was in it. Like, it was inescapable. Is that you're on the same frequency? But, like, we went through this one drama, y'all. I really wish I could put y'all in my business. I really wish I could put y'all in my business. But low key, it was like me versus him versus somebody else. It didn't start off as me versus him versus someone else. Well, I ain't gonna lie. It started off as me versus him because he did something and I didn't like it. There was another person that entered into the chat, y'all. And this person was a person that I was going to walk away. Like, I was like, okay, it's me versus him, and I'm going to just walk away. And I did just that. This third person started attacking me because of whatever he said to them at that time, maybe made them start, like, they was manipulated. So they started attacking me on his behalf. I didn't know that at first. So then I started frying this person publicly online because they was attacking me online. So I would never forget this day, y'all. I started frying this person, right? And then, long story short, this person wasn't that, in my opinion, from my perspective, this person wasn't significant. Because this person ended up exiting it out because the whole beef the whole time was between me and him. The whole beef the whole time was between me and him. This other person should have never been there. So then this person ends up kind of like going away, and it's still just me and him. And then look, how many so ever whatever years later, it low key be like that too. Low key, lowest the keys, lowest the keys, that lowest the keys. Supposedly angels can travel at the speed of light. I believe it. Because I've seen videos of people getting saved by angels in car crashes. Oh, I have heard of stories like that. Somebody said it makes sense. But wait, Jewel, don't you have a man now? Or how you talking about devil dude? What do you mean? I can't talk about devil dude? Supposedly. Hold on. Let me see what Nicole said. Telepathic or angels involved. The day my grandpa died, heard my name and his voice. He was in the rest home. I was in public and turned around to go see him. Got a call short later. He passed. Brad, that is crazy. The same day my older sister passed away, I literally went to my room to get to by myself, and I was crying because I was so sad that something tragic like that happened to her. And I heard her voice talking to me, and she was like, "Don't cry, sis." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, don't cry." She said, "Everything's okay. I'm fine." And I was just thinking to myself, like, first of all, I have never had somebody close like that to me pass away, and I always looked at her like more than just a sister. She was almost like somebody who was like nurturing to me, like a mother. So the fact that I heard her audibly say that to me, it was beyond my understanding at that time. So I definitely agree with you, Brad, that sometimes stuff like that does happen. Hi guys, Vaughn is back. Oh Lord, y'all remember Vaughn? I believe they appear during hardship. I agree. Because angels are supposed to assist us, especially if we call on them. But even, like, what if we don't know to call on them? Sometimes it's not meant for our time. So, like, that's just, like, the goodness, mercy, and grace, I feel like, of the Most High God. Yeah, Emmanuel said, I've been in similar situations, sucks. Put some effing clothes on and get a real job. We know you wearing that for certain group of entertain. What is Kay talking about, y'all? Kay is new here, and they're just here to be judgmental, y'all. You can tell. Oh, bless you, Jules. I know. Devil dude seemed like a nice dude. You should re-hook up. Y'all, I was just talking to him earlier today. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think he's kind of scared of me. I start to think that every dude eventually becomes a little bit scared of me. I think a few things is scaring him about me. My intuition, I think, has been kind of scaring me. I think it's been scaring him. Because there's times where I'm saying stuff, and mind you, before recently of him being able to see me on YouTube doing like readings and stuff, before that, me and him had a telepathic connection. I don't think he was completely aware of this. So he doesn't look at it as a telepathic connection. He just looks at it as like he sees me doing readings for people up here, and I don't know if he knows what to make of it. So I think that kind of like intimidates him, and I think also like I'm actually a very down to earth person, but I told y'all when he first met me, he was taking me out to like breakfast, 5-star restaurants, stuff like that. So I feel like a part of him, because he sees my value as that, I think he doesn't realize that I have a really down to earth personality too. Like we could just do, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how J. Cole has a song calling I Wanna Fold Clothes with You? Like we could do some down to earth stuff too. But I feel like he suspects that he's supposed to be doing like all this stuff, and it's like he doesn't have to do that. Like we've built up so much over these years as like being just friends, even to the point where he don't have to do all of that. But I think he feels like he does because he feels like he wants to. Jealous. It's called jealousy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What if he is, y'all? I really don't know. What? Wait, Jewel. If you saw him as the devil, what did he see you as? Now we need to hear his perspective of the trip. I would like to know. You guys, oh my gosh, what if tomorrow I'm on live and he's like off of work and we can hear his side? He play around too much, y'all. He might say something crazy like last time when he was on the phone up here with y'all. But I wonder. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have caught up a few times recently, but yeah, I don't know. I never considered it. What if he is jealous, y'all? What if he is? What if he thinks I'm married or something? Y'all, I think there's like ants that's trying to come on my drink. I know you motherfucking lying. Or maybe I'm paranoid. I think I'm paranoid. Call that nigga now. He'll answer. Y'all think he'll answer if I call him now? He has a son. I watched his son grow up. I feel like it's so funny because I almost feel like I'm old because I watched his son grow up. Like his son is like in elementary school or something. Let's see, y'all. I'm gonna call him. What if he like cussed me out or something? I'm scared. I'm low key scared to call him at this time. What if he just doesn't pick up or something? What if he doesn't pick up because I never called him at this time and it crushes my ego that he didn't pick up? Let's see. I'm gonna FaceTime him. I'm scared. I'm nervous. Earlier I told him I was gonna block him. He's probably not gonna pick up. Okay. He's probably asleep. He's going to wake up in 2 hours. It's 2:15. I know his schedule just a little bit. He's going to wake up at 4 a.m. and he's going to go to the gym. I know his schedule. I might look if y'all are up here for the next 2 hours. I'm gonna call him again at 4, because either he's gonna call me then or should just call him. Nah, Jewel, you still have a soft spot for him. That's sweet. He real deal. Like y'all, when I first met him, I had just got out of two different relationships that were abusive. Okay? And before those two relationships, my sister had passed away, and I had the most kindest, gentle guy that had ever entered my life. And then he randomly at a certain point in time, I don't know if I was emotionally too much for this person, because this person like literally had just like became like my safe haven. And I already had like things about me that were like, I already had trauma, like, you know. So like that person was like my safe space, and then he randomly broke up with me. He randomly broke up with me. I feel like I know why. I feel like it was low key. I feel like it was one, too much for him. Two, I felt like it was a lot of different factors. So I think that that's why. I also feel like he was dealing with a woman who was an Eastern Star, and I feel like they told him to break up with me. I don't know. I told y'all this story before. So I feel like there was different factors, but he broke up with me. That was like traumatic. That was also an add-on to my trauma. You ever ask him why directly? What do you mean, Q? Ask him why what? Like which one too? You wanted the ego death. To be real, y'all, I think I did have the ego death. Did you did he have a son before or after you? His son, when I met him, I think his son was close to like 2. I think his son was close to like 2 or 3. It's too late. He's probably sleeping. Yeah, he's gonna be up in like 2 hours because he has a strict schedule. He's gonna wake up in 2 hours and he's gonna go to the gym. Nah, Joe, you still have a sauce. Oh, I read that. Gym at 4. He do too much. It's so crazy because like he real deal will wake up at 4. Did I ever ask him why directly about what, Q? The devil became a safe haven for another dude. Oh, you talk about the first that the first person I'm talking about is the ODB Aquarius. The ODB Aquarius. I asked him why did he break up with me, and he told me like a very bogus answer. I always wanted him to just tell me straight, but he never did. But low key, why he probably broke up with me is because there was low key kind of drama that started to happen with us too. I felt like things really got shaky. I can't tell you guys all the details, but I think that things basically really got shaky one night that we all got turned up in a hotel. It was me, him, his brother, and his brother's girlfriend. And he seen something that happened after him and his brother had stepped out to get us food. And when he came back, I had like seen something in his phone. And when I saw something in his phone, I was like, oh, I did something like this. I did this motion and I broke the window in the hotel room. And so me and his brother's girlfriend, we got scared. We hid in the bathroom. And when him and his brother came back, me and his girlfriend was like, we was like in the bed together, right? So, like, his brother, like we was just, I don't know how to describe it. Me and his brother's girlfriend, we got scared that the window broke. So we ran and hid in the bathroom together. We're scared, holding each other in the bathroom, scared. And so we're still scared. So then somebody said, "You're obviously not ghetto. Stop pretending." Am I acting ghetto, you guys? What the freak is. People who think that I'm pretending are the fakest people on earth. Oh, the ODB Aquarium, that was the safe haven. Yeah, at the time. But low key, I think he assumed that I cheated on him with this girl. And ever since he assumed that about me, which is interesting because when I saw his phone before that window broke, I saw him legit talking to another woman, like another girl. So he for sure was like he was toting the line, and I seen it. And it was with a girl that he told me he didn't even like or talk to like that, but he low key was flirting with her. So did I have concrete proof that he was actually real deal like cheating? No. But I felt like at that time that felt like cheating to me. And then when he came back with his brother, he saw me looking compromised with this girl. So he in his mind, because he low key is a cheater, he probably already thought that I was. And so ever since that happened, I felt like things started to become more shaky between me and him. And then eventually he like broke up with me. He broke up with me. I mean, I was super emotional. I low key was a little bit needy because I literally had just lost my sister, and he was the only friend I had left in life. And then after I dealt with him, I got into 2 relationships. The next one I got into was abusive. This guy tried to like kill me a few times, like randomly. Um, some other stuff happened that I don't feel like sharing at this moment. Then the next person, I manifested this person. This person was long distance. So they an actual relationship? I don't think this next person was a real deal relationship because we wasn't together physically, especially a lot. But nonetheless, it still had a toll on who I was as far as my mental health, as far as like a lot of stuff. So that person really played a lot on my emotions and my psychologically. If ODB came back, would you get back with him? No. The last time I talked to ODB in a long time was on New Year's Eve. I talked to him, and I realized quickly that there was this one little thing that he does. there's this thing that he does to where, one, of course, he's an Aquarius, but I have three people who I've talked to that are Aquarius. I don't know what's my obsession with them. I feel like I'm secretly emotionally unavailable. Maybe, I don't know. I like something about them, but one is him, the ODB. The other one is this other guy. I just texted him the other day. I was like, I have like an irreversible attraction to you. It's scary. I have like an irreversible attraction to him, but I don't. Me and him don't deal with each other, mind you. This is mostly flirting. Y'all know flirting doesn't really go that far, so it's not like I'm like flirting with somebody or just telling somebody something. It's not like you're like riding that pony, riding this pony, riding that pony. I'm not riding ponies here, but that's the other one. That guy my mom likes. Like he's the only guy, one of the only guys that my mom liked meeting. And me, my mom and his mom has the same name. She mind folks. Sorry about she taking out so we. Her favorite ex is Defo Devil Dude. She knows his schedule. I think Jules should get back with him. Maybe we can get a second trip story. Flirt on here, show us you riding Mustangs. So let me show you guys. Let me show you guys. So basically, the devastation from the good guy who I felt like was set in my life to heal me, that was one. Another thing was I was starting to finally get introduced to certain aspects of spirituality, and I also was kind of getting glimpses into secret organizations and societies and how they work, because he was giving me intel. He was showing me ways to spot certain things in public even. So I felt like I was receiving a lot of new information, and because I was connected to him, it was like I felt like I also was somewhat, I don't know how to put this into words. Me being connected to him meant something. But for me it meant more, it was almost chaotic in a way. So that was one thing. Then it was the other dude who was like almost, he was a Taurus. So I'm a Taurus, he's a Taurus, it wasn't gonna work out. Then the other person was long distance. You mentioned his friend was the Eastern Star. Was he a Freemason? I think he really wanted to be one. I don't, at the time, I don't know if he was. But he was so secretive at times, to the point where it was almost like, there was times where he was so secretive that it was almost spooky. And then like, I felt like he low-key had like spiritual giftings, but there was this one time, y'all, I will never forget this. There was this one time he came to my house at night. It was like on like it was like a fall time night, and he came to my house and we were talking outside. I don't even think he came in my house necessarily. We were talking outside. Jewel, the Freemasons be like that. He probably was. His girlfriend was an Eastern Star and she was an artist. Which, by the way, I have a story eventually with one of her bandmates that I actually did party with. With the famous producer that I invited to our cabin trip. But that's a long story. So it's like a small world. But at the time, that was his ex, was the girl that was in that group, and she was an Eastern Star. And I felt like she, low key, not only did I feel like she was spiritually spying on me, because certain situations happen every single time a person's secretly spying on me. Mind you, I was 18 when I met this person. So I was completely like unaware, but kind of aware, but unaware, because I'm pretty confident that there's people in my, anyways. So he was like telling me random stuff. He was allowing me to spot out certain stuff, and there was a moment, there was a few different moments where he could read, we could read our energy like really good right away. Our first times talking on the phone, we talked for like over 4 to 6 hours straight. Stuff like that. Like I knew he was a person I was supposed to be, if that makes sense. But him breaking up with me was devastating at the time for me, because he was like my emotional crutch. That was my emotional crutch at that time. And then after that, I jumped into something with somebody that I shouldn't have did that with. It was very codependent, to the point of I was codependent, but that person's codependency was almost like ridiculous. Like it almost seemed scary. That person's codependence on me would seem scary, because he was like, he didn't let me break up with him. I don't like a nigga that's not gonna let me completely break up with him. And then like he used to sit outside my house like stalk me. It was crazy. And then after that, it was the weird long distance situation. The reason why I'm in a long distance situation is because I'm really emotionally unavailable. So if somebody, and I manifested him by accident. So like I wrote down a list and he came to my life 3 days later. And I wasn't looking for a relationship. I only wrote the list for when I finally became interested in being in a relationship again. So because I manifested him, that was the first time I ever manifested a person, I think, in that way, especially that fast. So he was long distance because I was low key emotionally unavailable, but he was very emotionally and psychologically abusive. So by the time I met this other person, this was a real life relationship. So this is low key now, after a few years, my final real life relationship again. And there was like moments where I literally would like still be I was still like broken. I was still like broken, like, so I would have moments where I would like literally express to him freely how I felt, and it was very intense emotions. But I will never forget, I mean, I know this might sound crazy, and but like I will never forget, like we had, this was like this was like either our third date. I think this was our third date, and this was the, the first time I finally let him kind of like, we had been talking for a while, but this was like our third date. It was like after he took me to this really nice restaurant. It was like this 5-star restaurant. It was white people in there judging us. We were the only black people, and we were the only young black people at this restaurant. And they were probably judging us, like, how can y'all afford to be here? And then like, it's like a dress code in a way. So like they were trying to, I could feel the judgment. So I'll never forget, we eventually, like, I eventually stayed the night with him. This is my first time ever staying the night with him, by the way. And he like set up everything so nice and beautiful. Like he had this nice like hotel, this nice view. It was like all beautiful and stuff. This is the first time I have felt like appreciated by a guy like in a long time. And I liked him. Like I legit liked him. Like, cause we could have like we could have any type of conversation, and we could shift gears, and we could still be having that conversation. Does that make sense? Like to me, people like that is very rare. So this was like the first time that I actually stayed over. So he had this really nice hotel, this really nice view. He knew what I liked to. At that time, I would drink Patron all the time. Like that was like almost all I drank at that time. So I remember, I'll never forget. This was the first time I ever tried the orange Patron. I haven't tried it since, but I'll never forget. I tried the orange Patron. Mind you, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know to the extent maybe of the trauma that I have, not just in the previous relationships, but just like overall. So I just will never forget. Like, I don't know. He was just so kind to me. Like I will never forget. Like he ran me a bath. Like he was doing like low key romantic stuff. Mind you, this man's an Aquarius. He ran me a bath, and then like when I got into the bath, he washed me up in the bath. I'm sorry, I don't know. That was like my first time experiencing something like that. This was my first time experiencing something like that. So I thought it was romantic. Also, huh? Who y'all talk about? God bless Nicole, their right side of you. Who y'all talking about? Did somebody say something? Jewel got to go. Girl, bye. Have a good night. Have a good night, Nicole. It's 2025. Nobody was judging you. LOL, victim complex is crazy. Oh, I don't know what that chop chance person's talking about. But before he did that, y'all, like, I literally had like I don't know if it was like considered a episode, but I literally drank so much so fast of the Patron. And I literally was saying things that was like crazy. Like, I was saying crazy stuff. And he just never judged me. He didn't judge me. He just like didn't judge me. And I thought that was so interesting because every guy I had met up to that point would like probably would have blamed me for whatever I was saying before they was gentle. So he was just very gentle with me. Like, and that's something that he's kind of been consistently He's kind of consistently had times where he's super gentle with me, and I think I kind of like that. Jewel, you said he did what? Like, oh, he had like ran me a bath, which I could tell he genuinely wanted to do these things. It wasn't so much so like he just was trying to find a way to smash type of thing. Cause honestly, if I'm not mistaken, maybe we already had that type of fun at that point. But that was like our first night together, and like I remember that he like ran me a bath, and then he like sat there and listened to me talk about whatever I was talking about. At that time, that was super important for me. I mean, that's kind of important for me now, but he sat there, he listened to everything I said at that time, whatever it was. It could have been crazy. It could have been me saying, I really just hate my life right now. I don't know who like, I don't know. I could have just said everything, like anything. I just hate my life right now. Like, why am I living? I just feel like I want to kill Like, it could have been anything. And he just sat there, he listened to me, and then he just was like holding space for me. And he was like, as I'm sitting there, he like starts washing me up. And he just never, I never got the vibe that he was judging me. Is Chop Chin in here again? It's true though, the standards for men is pretty low. What does Chop Chin talk about? Girls will get treated like a human being. So anyways, y'all, Chop Chin is a random hater. Like, what? Chop Chin doesn't even know how to listen to somebody without judging. He don't even know what the story's actually about. Girl will help you know. And they main focus growing to get money out of man for. But yeah, at that time, it was just super intimate. Like, I don't know, have y'all ever experienced intimate moments with somebody? If you were to describe the intimate moment, if somebody never experienced that type of intimacy, it can make them want to, like, find ways to, like, make it seem like it's nothing. But in that moment, it's like you understand what the connection is, and you understand what that moment means. So at that time period, of course, that moment was very intimate. Even me sharing it, it was kind of like still like an intimate moment that I didn't need to share. But at that time, especially for my life, mind you, this is 7+ years ago, by the way. This is 7+ years ago. So I was way young. I'm not hating, I'm just making a comment. Men on society, you guys are so aggressive. Yeah, there's not men today, right now. How many men you know today, right now, is going to have that type of connection with a woman? Chop Chin, how many women you know in your reality right now you're going to run a bath for and then also start washing them up? Like, legit, you feel like they're worthy of that right now. Let me know. Let me know. Since you tried to make it seem like this is nothing, like this is being treated like a human being. How many women you know right now, Chop Chin, that you would do that with? Right now. I have a question. This 35-year-old woman I was with said she never orgasmed. And when I was with her, she said I was her first to do it for her. She capping? To be real, Angel, I couldn't tell you if she was or not. Chop Chin, you never had a girl in your life. Exactly. So the fact that he in here trying to, like, seem like this experience is nothing is really crazy. A girl that I'm interested in, yeah. I said right now, Chop Chin. I didn't say a girl that you're interested in as this is fairy tale. I said, Chop Chin, a girl that you know right now. How many, since you said this is them being treated like a human being, how many would you right now, Chop Chin, do that with right now? Run them a bath and wash them up. So you said a girl that you interested in and that you feel comfortable with. Okay, case point, proven. One, okay, good. So now you can't water down my experience that I just spoke about. Because obviously I was that one for him, right? And you trying to make it seem like it was nothing. But you yourself wouldn't do that for every woman right now that you know. Only one that you think is qualified to maybe having that experience. So anyways, let me finish my story if that's okay, without being judged. But yeah, so me and him had a really good connection. Well, yeah, because I have a significant other. Exactly. In that moment, I was his significant other. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. So anyways, exactly. Why the F would I watch somebody who's besides my partner? Thanks, Chop Chin, for saying that. So yeah, that's my point exactly. So you're on the same page, hopefully. What you got on this live, go change in some designer clothes. Why? Why do I need to change in designer clothes to be accepted? I can't be accepted with how I look right now. Somebody said it's intense. Exactly. And so, like, low key, y'all, that was like some, like, I don't know why that felt so intimate at the moment, though, because, like, it was a mess. So, I'm saying this to just say, he seen me in some, like, real raw moments. And he seen me in the most natural way possible because, honestly, I'm very authentic. But at that time period, most people knew me for being a quote unquote Twitter honey, which means that they're just looking at me for how I look and they're thinking that I'm either seeking attention or I'm all about attention. They're not seeing who I truly am, but like you can tell when a dude's actually seeing you for who you are. I feel like in that moment he was seeing me for who I was. Destroy. I know it sounds crazy, but now all of us going in this chat asking about girls' dads all the time. And you please don't come at my moderator's chin. Chop Chin, please don't come into my moderator. She's in pajamas. Nothing wrong with that. Thanks, Joshua. Fan crush, you got even designer. Duh, my cities don't got designer clothes store, and I got money for it. Whoever said my name. So yeah, so that's what happened. But Chop Chin, you gotta understand, you was coming in here hot and heavy in the beginning. So my moderators are here to protect the host and keep the chat good. So you can't necessarily expect not to have return energy from a mod. So please respect my moderators in here, please, you guys. Fan crush, Monopoly money don't count. So yeah, long story short, like I remember he did stuff like that. Like we had like really fast, really deep type of like real him seeing who I was, I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying, type of moment. So I think that's why like we had such a connection. And honestly, like even before we did shrooms, like this is like maybe a year or so before we even did shrooms together. Maybe 2 years before we did shrooms. Somebody said happy birthday, Joel. Thanks. I didn't mean to come hot on heavy. I didn't mean to undermine your experience with that dude. It sounds very romantic and he sounds great. Thanks, Chop Chan. I appreciate it. Wait, are you talking about the devil guy? Yeah. Destroyer, we're still talking about him. She talking about doing shrooms with a different guy. No, it's the same guy, y'all. It's the same guy. I think you all took Chop Chan wrong. I have not seen anything negative he was posted. I feel like the misunderstanding just got cleared up, y'all. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. And so I think that's why we also have a connection. But I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily means anything now. Like, because now it's been like at least like, what, 7+ years. We still have contact back with each other. But I feel like we'll always have a basis of just kind of like being friends. If it ever becomes more, maybe. I feel like he kind of looks at me in a way that I kind of don't like. Because I think he looks at me as like this social media entity, and I don't think he realizes I'm still that same person. Girls with hours, you must love this dude. They asked me questions about him, and I just been explaining. Must have been a good batch of shrooms. No, they asked me a question about him. What time is it now? It's only 2:40. It was barely 2 o'clock last time we talked about him. Anthro, it's because my comments were framed in a negative light by Destroy. Chelsea chopping. What? Chelsea said girls would get treated like a human being and be surprised. It's so sad, bruh. Y'all, who is Chelsea? Why is Chelsea repeating what Chop Chin said earlier? Because I promise you, they be saying stuff like this, but they don't know a dude right now on their phone that would do the exact same thing right now, and without them even having to proposition them. They themselves don't know a guy that would take initiative and do that for them right in this moment. So why are people acting like this is being treated like a human being? What? I'm about to be treated like this. I'm so weak. Some men are built different. Some purpose in life goes over women. And smart men know when they need to be single. This may sound selfish at first. It's not. I agree, Arizona. Look, shout out to you, Arizona. You a member. I remember seeing you being get you when you got that. Saying you don't know a dude that would do that is my point. It should be more common. I agree. I feel like it should be more common, but I feel like the reason why romance is so dead is because a lot of people follow pop culture. And pop culture, even in the music, like everything has been a contributing factor to why that has died. Jewel, you need a real dude. I feel like at the time he was, you know what I'm saying? But the whole point of me talking about this was because we were talking about how like me and him did go through like drama, but I would have rather had went through drama with somebody that I've been through those types of experiences with than a random new person that came out the gate with drama. That was my whole point of going into detail about this. Happy birthday, thanks, Ella Angelo. That's right, I took a nap with grocery shopping. Jewel, real right, dude. Exactly. I saw the post you made and saw my name in green. Hey, Arizona. Interesting. Real dude, you've been trying to get to like. I'm just saying. I'm just explaining because somebody said earlier as to why I wouldn't have accepted drama from a new person and would have went through drama with him. I'm just explaining why. Real dude, you worse than Cal. What? What did real dude do? Destroy. I think it went over her head. What did real dude say, y'all? Let me find it. Jewel, you need a real dude. Oh, because his name is real dude. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. But yeah. Dang, and dumb on your... What? Can somebody at least time out this super disrespectful person in here named Fan Crush? New people, make sure you guys double tap the live stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Love your hair, by the way. Thanks, Emmanuel. Destroy. No one is talking to you, dog. Go ahead and ask about the bath again. What the freak? Child, you worse than CP3 with the finals. But yeah, y'all. I'm just explaining to y'all, like, why I even went through that process. Like, what? Why is there so many, like, ants over here? I be scared, like, there's no ants that's touching my drink. Thank God. But why the freak did I just see an ant crawl on my freaking milkshake? What's making them be over here, y'all? Every time I see one, they disappear. Y'all, I'm about to spray something over here. I wiped down this whole area. I wiped down this whole area. There's no reason for them to be showing up. I'm so happy there's no ants on this drink. I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared. I'm scared. Let me drink the rest of this. I think I might pour up the rest of this corner just because it's a corner. I don't know. Tomorrow I might pick up another bottle, y'all. What y'all think? Should I get red wine bread? Real dude is destroying. Huh? Destroy, you got a chair in the corner of your room. Don't talk to me. I'm scared an ant gonna pop up, y'all. What if I'm on live at 4 a.m. and he calls me back? He's like, you call me? I forgot what I was gonna ask him. What was I calling him for again, y'all? Pinot or crab or Cabernet Red? Um, I think the last wine I drank might have been Pinot, but I love me a Cabernet. I love me I love me a Moet. I love me a Savr. How do you pronounce it? Savr. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Savion or whatever. So yeah. You're calling him because he can't get him off your mind. It's your birthday. I talked to him earlier today. He already said happy birthday to me. He said happy birthday to me a few days ago too, by the way. He told me what to wear. He told me what color to wear today. He called me on FaceTime and he told me what color to wear today. He's just cool people, y'all. I don't talk to him all the time, by the way. I don't want to get that picture. I just have talked to him every now and again, sporadically, recently. That's all. Have you been live all this time? I think so. I've been on live a few times today. NYC in the building, Harlem, stand up. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Thanks, money bag. You're calling them because you... Oh, I read that. That you live with your roommates because you can't afford your own house. What the freak is going on in the chat, y'all? But yeah. So, that's my my story. I don't know. Does anybody have any other stories to talk about? We got this much left. Real Deal and Destroy Lonely just need to get together and stop Goody in the chat. Real Dude and Chop Chin and Destroy Lonely. Do you get feminine vibes? Hold on. From the Chop guy? I think the Chop guy is just looking to pick on something. Chop, nah, I'm gay like you. What the freak? Did you go out for your birthday? I definitely had my family spend my birthday with me. Definitely a birthday live. I come back on, you clutch it on the bottle. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Adrian. Aki. You was the main one hating on Jewel and then switch. He switched once I asked him that question. How many females he know right now he gonna run a bath for and then wash them up in the bath? Mind you, he picked a really, really nice hotel with a really nice view. Like, he definitely planned that whole day, and that was like, I like the fact that he put thought in every single thing. Mind you, y'all, we went to a 5-star restaurant and we had like the different like courses. I didn't even really like that. I didn't really completely love what we ate. So like on our way back to the hotel, we end up eating Wendy's. We end up eating Wendy's on the way back to the hotel because I was still hungry. Also, those little portions. What? On our way back to the hotel, we end up eating Wendy's. So I thought that was kind of cool and kind of cutesy because he didn't need to do all that type of stuff. And then I had got super drunk because he knew I drank Patron. So he got me some orange Patron. And I had got super drunk off of the Patron. And y'all, I promise you, I don't know if I was subconsciously testing him. But I was like having like some type of like moment. Like, dare I say, just for colorful words, dare I say an episode. And I was sitting there like, I hate my life. I hate my life. I hate all of this. I don't know. It's not to say that it wasn't coming from a real place at that time. At that time, it probably was. But he was there for me the whole time. I felt like he was a real one. I don't know. I do. I look back to the moments like that, and I think they're cute. I think they're cool, but I don't know what to think more about them in the future. Like, you know, it's one of those things that is like, are we just gonna be cool and we live our lives, and I find somebody, you find somebody. Yo, Drew, you keep asking this Dusty Chop Chin guy if he would bathe the female when he doesn't even take showers himself. What is going on? Moneybag Chill. What did Moneybag say? A Real Deal and Destroy. I hope y'all get a real life girl and stop asking about y'all bath time. And Jewel, you need to get a real man. Y'all some weirdos. Who's telling me I need to get a real man though? I thought it was just Chop Chin that was saying that to me. I thought it was just Chop Chin that was saying to me I need to get a real man. Moneybag, yo, I got this story about a shorty I said happy birthday to. She couldn't say thank you. Moneybag, you said Harlem in the building, stand up. And I said, oh, hey. I was like, thanks for the happy birthday. And now, ever since I said that, you acted like I ain't say nothing to you. That's crazy. And dating your mom don't count, Chop Chin. What the freak? Y'all, I'm going to pour the little bit rest in there. In here. I'm going to pour a little bit rest in here. I think I'm going to pick up another one of these tomorrow. And then I'm going to pour the rest of this in there. I might as well just pour the whole rest, right? A little bit. I mean, I already didn't drink the whole rest of the thing. Somebody said friends with benefits. I'm so weak. That's what you're saying, Emmanuel? I'm so weak. Chop, you have the same dude who paints his nails and says it's masculine. What the freak? I'm just going to chill from now on. I might not talk unless someone talking to me directly, but know that I'm here. Lala, welcome back. I'm watching Demon Slayer anime. Oh, I've watched that before. That's a cool anime. I watched up to a certain point of episodes until the person who I was watching with exited my life. I don't know if I blocked this person or not. I can't remember right now. But it was that. It was a few different other animes that we would watch together. Once he said Guna, I knew he plays for the Rainbow. Yeah, I do. A little bit, only a little bit right now, Lala, because I feel like we was watching this together like 5 years ago. So I don't know how many seasons it's been since. I promise you, it's probably way more seasons ever since. So I don't want to embarrass myself pretending I still understand the anime. But it was a really good anime. He tips more than people that are on crack. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Happy birthday from Finland. Thanks, late love, lava, tono, lava. I don't know. I was about to call you latte, but thanks, late. I look nice today. Thanks, Ethan. At this point in the night, I feel like this is like definitely a wind down. This is definitely a wind down portion in the night. Look, I appreciate the newer subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Double tap the live and hit the bell notification so you guys can know when I'm live. I would appreciate it. He quiet now, thank God. I'm so weak. We choking. We cooking chop chin the femboy. What? Hey, you do look nice. Thanks, Anka. You know you are a bad A. Thanks, An. Do you know